Yep. So yeah, we're live with episode 46 now of Cast in the Shadows, and today, well, it's what day is it of IAE? Today's day. I want to say it's day 4, right? The Xeno stuff, all the alien ships. So yeah, it's the IAE. For anyone who doesn't know what that is, it's the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. It's an annual in-game event every year. It's also an in-universe event, and it's part of essentially just a sale, literally in game and out of game for CIG to sell ships. But it's also a really fun experience, and it's a free fly event, so anyone who doesn't have the game can try it out for this week up until December 1st, right? That is. Well, I know that's for the free fly. December 1st is the end, but and not sorry, not for the IAE is. Just, I don't know if the free fly ends December 1st. I meant to say. But you want to start off with the Inside Star Citizen you were telling us about? I know Star Citizen Live. Sorry,
Okay.
I'll get the
So,
footage.
Cool. You're wrong. Versus just the topics that they went over, and they actually usual. They'll do a top one.
Which is what it used to be.
Yeah. Like I said, there's. I
By all means.
First one is you really want to get it where you're visually your character really that they're actually
But essentially, like for instance, if you're taking off your helmet, you're right. Or if you're taking off your helmet, you're actually physically taking off. Like there's a whole animation for taking off your helmet.
Yeah. They
Stuff
want
like
to take
that.
it not just to that level, but
Actually, finger pressing the touchpad
pressing the
screen.
buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Waste my. But
I'm actually glad that that's true because I was wondering if they were going to do that. I don't have to wonder anymore.
I'm side of it.
Yeah, for combat, it's
I really
going
want
to
to be worried about. I guess it all very theatrical and but if real time.
Well, I remember when they were talking about getting into your ship, the animation for that, how they wanted to have like a combat version and like a more casual version. Not always going to be like running up the ladder to get inside. Sometimes you're just going to be taking your time because you're in a civilian location and everything like that.
Oh, shoot, battle stations were being attacked. Yeah. It brought it. It would be, so, you were saying a little bit take off. I was agreeing with that. Really need to get out. Takes a half right switch to like that. I like it. How to see that you shoot up with close to it involves hold on a second. Hit the like that idea with the on the that kind of
I was also think another way they can do it. Oh, sorry, you go.
Be a little bit more. Would be a little bit deeper, so that I mean, you're assumedly in the future we're going to have several other types of component systems in the ship. You're going to have power relays, and all the components are going to be tied in. So you got coolers and shield emitters and all that stuff. So I I want it to be more in depth when you get in to the ship and you want it running at 100%, and you don't want to cause too much wear and tear. You'd want to minimize that. So you get in your ship, you turn on your power, you check your systems. Maybe there's some monitoring for fuel input, maybe not. I'm just kind of hyperbolating right now. But you look at all that, you turn on the engines, you make sure everything's running smoothly, and then you take off versus the way it is in the game right now. You hop in your ship, you turn on power, you turn on engines, or you just hit flight ready, and you're off the pad in like 5 seconds, 6 seconds. I would still want that option to be there if you need it, but I would rather that be like, a cold start on a car when it's really cold outside. You can do it and you can drive away, but it's probably going to cause a lot of wear and tear on your engine than if you let it sit there and warm up for a couple minutes.
Yeah,
Option
so
two
maybe
might
like
be,
you go ahead, Cam. Sorry.
I was going to say one option too might be that, let's say for example, hey, I just claimed my ship, so the ship I'm pulling out here is one I haven't really done anything with, I haven't configured anything with, and let's say we have this fine-tuned control over at least some of our systems here. And you go through and you take the 5 minutes or so to actually dial everything in how you like it and get everything adjusted how you want. And then you can go and save that as a preset. So if you're like, oh, hey, I'm going to be, I'm about ready to do a combat op. I really want to dial in my engines and my weapons and my shields here versus, stock settings are fine here. I'm not going to fuck with it. But once you have everything adjusted for that specific instance of that specific ship, you can save that as a preset. And so then when, hey, klaxons are going off, you're being attacked, you run over to your ship, you jump in the cockpit, you load that preset that you made for that instance of that ship, and you're able to go and take off within 5 seconds, 10 seconds here, because it's just okay, powered up, okay, fuel's going, all right, we're out of here. So that gives you kind of both options there of you can fine tune that, but you aren't sitting there on the pad going, come on, holy shit, come on, because you got to fiddle with fucking 15 things here before you can even take off.
Okay. Yeah, that has potential. My third option would be maybe there's like a way that the game tracks you're using the flight ready. So like if you use flight ready every single time, maybe it slowly increases the percentage chance that that you have a critical failure in a component. So in other words, if you just jump in, hit flight ready, and take off, you do that once, say there's like a 10% chance something goes wrong. But if you use that same setting, 6, 7, 10 times in a row, suddenly your odds are like 70% that something's going to go wrong when the next time you hit that button and try and do that. But if you go through the sequence that like Data Machine was talking about, where you actually slowly get your components up and ready and online, then it resets that factor, but that percentage chance back down to a lower setting. And maybe it's like the number of times that you do the correct startup is a small is basically, let's say every time you use the flight ready, it's a 10% jump. I'm just picking a number. Let's say it's a 10% jump. So every time you do a good, and you've done that like 5 times in a row, now if you do a regular startup procedure 5 times in a row, that's -10, -10, -10, gets you back down to baseline. Just an idea.
I mean, there will be wear and tear and component degradation.
Just on its own, yeah.
Yeah, just on its own. So I think that'll kind of be what you're thinking of, just in a slightly different way.
Yeah, true.
So
Yeah,
it's like,
my whole
if
point
you're
of-
like, hey, sorry, go on.
I was just going to say my whole point of bringing it up is not to punish people who don't want to use that, because I don't care about that. It's just to add a little bit extra immersion. And to me, it would be more fun to get in the cockpit, flip a couple extra switches, check a couple of gauges before you take off. It's just to me, it feels better in a control way, because it's not very engaging to just hop in and fly away. You don't have to do any checks
Yeah.
on this supposedly complicated ship. And to me, it would be more fun. That's what's mainly about.
Well, I mean, in modern aircraft too, you sit there for like, what, 15, 20, 30 minutes on a modern aircraft while the pilots are going through their pre-flight checks. And that's assuming, again, that there's been no combat damage or anything like that. This is just a normal standard aircraft.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's
actually...
like there is precedence here for that.
Yeah,
That's
and I'm not
actually...
talking about. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm not talking about spending even maybe a full minute going through the checks. It'd just be cool
Yeah,
to me to you get in, flip a couple switches to get things running, and maybe have an MFD that's got some gauges that say, yeah, everything's within tolerance, or is got a green zone, and then that gives you opportunity. If you've got something that's not working, you just look at your panel and say, oh, well, that's not working at 100%. You can choose to get it repaired there, or maybe it's probably going to be okay, and take the risk of flying off with it the way it is.
Have you seen the Gladius startup animation?
Yeah,
because they do have in the Gladius, you're adjusting some things. Now it's all pure animation. There's no actual detail information that's coming to you from it. But
see, I'd be okay with that. Like, to me, my level of satisfaction with what Data is saying would be that, like, maybe there's that option to do a regular start, and it's not that I need to know what buttons and things need to be pushed. but maybe it just goes through that, like, 15 to 30-second sequence of my character just kind of reaching around the cockpit and looking like he's going through the startup sequence to give me that immersive feel. But by the same token, I don't have to be worried, do I know all the special ins and outs of this one specific aircraft that I need to hit that one specific button? Like, that would negate that need, but it would give me, for me, it would give me that sense of immersion.
That's right.
But this actually leads into the next line item that I have that they talked about, which is being able to create custom interaction menus. And so what they were talking about, I think, kind of leads into maybe a little bit what Cam was talking about, which is they want you, instead of when you walk up to interact with something, they're talking about no longer giving you like a list of the different interactions that you can do. Instead, it's just going to give you a general, like, hey, this is an interactive. Now, what do you want to do? And if you want to, if it's a interaction that you're going to regularly do, they're going to give you the option in your inner thought system to actually create that customized interaction sequence that you want. Whether it's like every time you walk up and grab a bottle, you just automatically open it up and take a drink, or do you just pick it up and stow it instantly? Like they want to let you do that. And I think that has some pretty interesting game mechanics, because you can start getting into some really interesting tailored situations, or not situations, but definability of how you go about playing the game.
You'd be able to customize how you play the game and how things work for you. Like, okay, whenever I pick up a bottle, I just put it immediately in my inventory. You, on the other hand, will like instantly drink it, whatever. Like, and you can customize your layout, and exactly, you can have it be where someone's playthrough is different than another person because of how they set it up.
Maybe that's where it comes into play. Where like, hey, I want to have a customized startup sequence when I get in my MSR. Sorry, go ahead.
The customized default interaction is going to be pretty neat. I like the idea that instead of like using the interaction mode on something and having all these items pop up that you can do right there, that you can just default what you want to do with that particular kind of item. And then I really like the idea of the pinwheel that they're going to have for the other different options that you can use. So I think that'll be a whole lot faster than the system that they have right now.
Yeah.
Problem with the system they have right now too is that the way you select things,
It's
sometimes
hard to click on things. Yeah.
like you're looking at something and it won't let you select it even though your mouse is on it because it's auto selecting something else and weird pips there. But
I'll be right back. 2 seconds.
all right, he's gone. Let's talk about him.
Okay, it's been 2 seconds.
But yeah, also another thing they could do is they could have it like you're getting into the ship speed. Maybe they can have it similar to your movement speed on foot, right? Where it's just scroll the mouse wheel.
Yeah.
Like if you scroll the mouse wheel up and down, you increase and decrease your, mounting speed.
Well, I'm pretty sure that holding the shift button does actually make you climb ladders faster right now.
I don't know about climbing ladders faster, but I do know that if you are going down a ladder and you hold shift, it will have you go, and instead of going rung by rung, you'll put your hands to the outside of it and you'll slide down it.
Yeah. The funny thing about that is, though, the move speed is not actually that much faster than just climbing down at the moment.
No, and a lot of ladders don't have rungs. And I don't have the side also to slide down. It's kind of weird.
Actually, you guys are hitting on a topic further down. I'll just jump in on it. Climbing and mantling are going to get a lot more stuff, like animations and possibilities added to them. So think of like what you guys are talking about, how to go up and down railings and ladders and stuff, but also like hopping over ledges, not just trying to climb them, but like, a waist-high rail and just being able to step over that properly. So
Go on.
it's
One
coming.
interesting thing they did say was that they realized that there's a lot of surfaces right now that you should be able to climb up or mantle on that you can't, and that's just a problem with the tech that they have right now. And that in the future they're looking into ways to procedurally add markups on ledges and things because there's so much stuff in the game right now that there's no way an artist is going to be able to go in and manually add that markup to every single ledge that you could possibly climb on. So they're looking into ways to have a system that'll add that procedurally to different areas. So it's available in a wider um, environment than what we have right now, which is basically just caves.
Yeah. When I heard about it, I thought like essentially they're basically gonna give you like grippy hand surfaces on any kind of a ledge if they can do it through
Yeah, that's
procedural
what they're aiming
process.
for. They also said that they want the ability to jump at something and be able to grab it with your hands. So like on all those really annoying cliffs that you try to jump and you can't quite get up there with your feet, you'd be able to grab on the edge and pull yourself up instead of just smacking with your face and falling down.
Yeah. I think they said something about right now that the way the engine is designed, that essentially the system won't recognize you being able to grab something if there's nothing underneath it. Is how
Yeah,
I
something like
understood it.
that. And it has something
So
to do with the level of the surface. Yeah, I'd have to watch that part again, but yeah.
yeah, like I said, that this was a huge jump. It was like I was constantly having to go stop thinking about things and pay attention to what they're actually talking about.
I will say at KSP, there's a lot of those barriers that you can mantle over. That almost got me killed because I didn't realize it. I jumped next to one and it made me hop over it right in front of an NPC.
Nice.
Nice. I mean,
That's a
you
good
also
wake-up call.
Star Marine has it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So going back up towards the top of the list, the next thing is weapon ammo types. So basically, they want to bring in all kinds of different weapon types or ammo types for the weapons. Like they want to introduce because right now basically you have laser and you have ballistic, but further down the line, like if you can think of it, they want to investigate it and see if it's doable. And the one that they're working on right now that they're saying we'll probably see next is plasma, which I think is kind of interesting. That has some interesting side effects, I think.
I
If
mean,
it's
we already
modeled
have
correctly.
2 plasma weapons, both FPS, at least FPS weapons in the game right now, but they definitely need some rebalancing.
Oh yeah, I remember this segment. So they said that they like the idea of having incendiary ammo. So if you're
Yep.
fighting somebody that's in a foresty area, you could potentially set that part of the ground on fire or the forest on fire to force them out. And plasma weapons could possibly create a spot on the ground that'll cause damage if you walk on it.
Yeah. Like
So
I was also thinking about like, being able to melt through something,
yeah, some
you know?
interesting potential gameplay impacts from that.
Yeah, definitely.
I really like the idea of fire or being able to set things in the world on fire. I'm not a pyromaniac.
I'm all for it too, but I also want to see the fire extinguisher in game before they bring those online. The functioning fire extinguisher that you can carry
Yeah.
around.
So you can use it as a melee weapon.
That too. The next one that they covered was weapons taking power from suits. So where what I understood this to be is essentially if you have a non-ballistic weapon, i.e., laser weapon, they want you to be able to have the opportunity to um, essentially charge off of your armor, but also depending on the weapon type, it may actually draw power from your suit. So to you, kind of the impression I got of where they were trying to lead this in the thinking was that maybe you'll have types of weapons that draw that in order to use it, maybe it's going to be really lethal, but maybe it's going to draw power from your suit. So maybe your suit isn't going to, I don't know, maybe have the same dexterity or movement. Um, or maybe it does something, if you have a special feature, like, I don't know, let's just say maybe you had like chameleon armor effect on it. Maybe when you use that weapon, the weapon draws enough power that maybe that chameleon effect doesn't work for a few seconds or something. That was how I interpreted this, but I could be wrong on that.
Well, this was related to ammo reloading, right? Isn't that what they were talking about?
Later on, they came back and they talked about that. So I don't know if these two are tied together or not. This is where
Okay.
they kind of jumped around, so it's hard for me to know.
What I remember from that segment was something that they've talked about before, and I think we've talked about it also, is the ability they're looking in. They haven't said that they're going to do it yet, but they're looking into the potential ability for energy weapon clips to drip charge off of your suit.
Yes.
That's what I remember from it. And then
They
also,
and
in regards to reloading, the ability to loot specific ammo off of bodies or out of guns and add it to your clips or whatever. Because right now, with looting, you can loot clips, but they don't actually have the ammo inside them. So eventually, we'll be able to strip ammo from other things and add it to our weapons, assuming that it's compatible.
Yeah. So later on, what they talked about is having 4 types of armor.
Yeah.
Your regular armor type being for your general combat armor. It protects you, um, but it wouldn't have any specialties built into it. It's just it's general purpose armor. But then the armor set number 2 would be your specialist armor, which would be things like for bounty hunters, assassins, things like that. And it was implied that those types of armors would give you special capabilities inherent with whatever the task that they're designed for. And then the third option was going to be your utility armors. Think of like your exploration or your mining armors. And then your fourth one was, I think, kind of what ties into this was what they were calling your support armor. So think of like your medical professionals, carrying their medical equipment necessary to do what they want to do. But the one they specifically mentioned was a power generation suit. So in other words, you're the guy who's actually generating the power to to resupply those weapons. So I don't know if, because that was much later in the show, but I don't know if that ties into what they were talking about at the beginning with the weapons taking power from the suits. So that's why
From what I've heard from other talks earlier, it sounded like, generally speaking, what they want is that you would be able to, for example, if I've just got a regular suit and I'm using a energy weapon of some kind, I would be able to go and like we mentioned before, drip charging. So it's like, maybe in like a minute I'll get one ammunition, one ammo worth of energy into the weapon's battery. But if you're trying to charge stuff off of it while actively using it, so let's say, for example, I just finished up a firefight and I'm going through and I'm looting all the bodies, and or I'm just wandering about in the combat zone afterwards here, and I'm like, okay, here, let me hook up my weapon to my suit here, so it's recharging, because hey, combat's over, right? But while it's going and recharging your cells here, which could take a good bit, your suit might be overheating or producing more heat, and that's at more of a risk to overheating, especially if you were on like Hurston. or other warm planets, especially if you're like Pyro. But if you're in Microtech, hey, wouldn't be as much, if at all, a problem because the ambient temperature is going to be cooling you down there. Also, too, you might be drawing more energy by charging your cells here than, as noted before, hey, if you've got some kind of special suit gear that's being powered, such as maybe there's some kind of a stealth system or some other shit we don't know, but might not be working properly. It might be only functioning at half its normal capacity, or might not function at all because hey, you don't have enough power to do everything you want your suit to do.
Another thing that I'd like to bring up is that presumably everything that's in the game right now that is infinite will eventually become finite. So your suit is not going to have an infinite amount of power generation. It's going to be limited. And every suit right now, I'm assuming this is going to stay the way it is. Even a flight suit has uh, a limited capacity for cooling or heating your character, so you can survive in space environment. So that's going to take a certain amount of power. So I'm looking. Well, I don't know if looking forward is the right word, but I'm interested to see how they're going to introduce the finite resources that we're at the moment used to having. Just we can do whatever we want because there's no limitation.
Consumption.
Yeah, because I mean, if you can drip charge your weapons off of your suit, how much power is that suit going to have? How
Yeah.
long? How much is it going to reduce your survivability in that suit if you're drip charging a whole bunch of ammo, or if you're running several different types of equipment off of that battery?
It's
Absolutely.
a dune suit, man. My movement is what's creating the power. The more I move, the more
Well, I
power I
mean,
generate.
you could argue that maybe you would be able to have, hey, I've upgraded my suit so that all the joints do go, and as I move, and there is a resistance to my movement. It's going and taking that resistance to power it,
Yeah.
but you tire a lot easier because we've got the stamina system.
Yeah,
Maybe
true.
you're gonna tire a hell of a lot easier, especially if you want to try like sprinting or running or anything like that. But you're passively charging your suit. Also,
Yeah.
too, if I'm in my cockpit, for example, or in my vehicle, I'm probably going to be going and charging my suit. I would assume if we've got suit batteries here, most cockpits would have some kind of a hookup to keep your suit charged off of ship power until you get out of that chair there and you've now disconnected from there.
Well,
So, hey, if I'm in my Avenger Titan, let's say,
they,
or
they they
my
said they don't want you wearing any armor when you're flying.
But they
yeah,
didn't
no,
say
I'm
no
not talking
armor,
armor. I'm
but
just talking.
They
Well,
said they
sorry,
said you're only
medium or heavy.
no
But-
light armor. Yeah,
but he's
specifically.
I'm
talking
just talking
specifically
suit.
about fly suits.
Oh, gotcha.
But it's
I
like
thought you were
that
talking about armor.
it's internal batteries, because also too, we don't know necessarily how they're going to want the armor system and the upgrades there. The
Yeah.
flight suit as it is right now, it's pretty much ignored. There's really
Yeah.
no difference between one flight suit and another, but down the line, maybe that's where all of your base items are, and your armor is really just sitting on top of that, just like it is nowadays here. So it would matter more what flight suit you have, what items you have equipped to that, that kind of shit. Maybe we're gonna have those options in the future. We don't know, but it's
Yeah.
possible.
I kind of like
And if so,
your
batteries would be
original
there.
idea. To me, that would actually kind of fit the idea that it maybe your general purpose armor. Yeah, you can take you can take an energy clip out of your weapon, plug it in, put it in wherever you store it, and that's like it slowly starts trickle charging. Maybe it's regaining basically like one shot per minute or something like that. Something very slow and low, but over time would eventually top them off. But then if you have your specialist or your support armor that's specifically designed for power generation, that's where like you can actually just instantly charge up a full ammo clip.
Yeah.
Just plugging
You're
into it
just sitting there.
immediately.
You've got like 2 mini reactors or some shit in a backpack, and
Yeah.
you or your buddies just come along and just put entire magazines in at once, and it just goes doop 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 doop, good.
Yeah,
And you've got enough
you're
fuel
basically
for
the machine gunner's right-hand man because he's just handing you these big, huge, heavy
you're
weapons.
the A gunner. You're the
Yeah.
assistant gunner. You're handling all the ammo, whether it's ballistic, energy, whatever the fuck.
Do they call it A gunner or the AAR? I don't know.
In the army, at least from what I remember, it was A gunner, but
Okay. No, I wasn't sure. It's been a long time since I played guns.
but
with
you might be
guys.
handling the extra barrel, any extra ammo that's not distributed out to the other squad mates or some shit. You're probably also going to have a rifle or other longer weapon because your light machine gunner, for example, their primary weapon is the light machine gun. They're not going to also have, for instance, an M16 because that's going to be too unwieldy. So it's
Yeah.
your job, if they're
Well, plus
setting up,
that's
it's your job to kind of cover them.
Plus, he's already hunking around a pretty heavy piece of metal, so you want to try and lighten his load as much as you can. Cool.
Yep.
Well, anyways, I think we've killed that rabbit.
No,
Have
there's
we?
there's one more thing to note also is that
Okay.
at least in terms of armor, they talked about some of this stuff years ago. I currently have the pillar on the screen, but they talked about armor and damage types too. How like different armors will have different types of damage resistances and weaknesses. And I think the same should be applied to undersuits, definitely, because the whole point is, same thing with ships, same thing with armor, same because they talked about armor like it's essentially going to be your ship away from your ship.
Yeah. And I love the way they describe that, and I can't wait to see that realized.
Well, since
especially
we're on,
gone.
No, go ahead. Finish up.
I was just going to say, especially since we have yet to see the full realization of ship components yet. There is still much more to come with that, with physicalized components and physicalized damage and all that.
Absolutely. Since we're on the armor, I'm just going to jump down in my list, and we already kind of touched on it, but they specifically talked about armor restrictions while trying to do dexterity type things, and what they were directly correlating that with was being able to fly or be in a turret. They basically were saying they want you to either be in a flight suit or light armor, but medium or heavy armor is going to be essentially restrictive to what you can and can't do in those positions.
Well,
So-
they were
Correct.
saying that because of the bulk and the size of the armor, it wouldn't make sense for you to try to squeeze into a pilot chair. You wouldn't have the dexterity in your hands to be able to operate the controls the way you would need to. So instead of like reducing your ability, I hope they just say if you're wearing light or heavy or medium armor, then you can't fly. You got to take it off and store it somewhere.
Yeah, and it makes sense. I mean, you don't, no matter what the combat environment is, you don't see helicopter pilots wearing like full battle rattle. Like it just they can't do it. It actually stresses your body out trying to sit in that seat for that long with all that equipment on and trying to fly. So there's a reason for it. It makes sense, and I agree. But it also does open that door, which me and Data Machine kind of went round and round about this, which is, so does that mean that every single ship has to have the storage capability for that armor, for the player to be able to store that armor?
Yeah, I guess that's something we could talk about and get your guys' input. So from my perspective, most of the ships in the game have an ideal role that they're built around. So for me, it wouldn't make any sense for a mining vehicle to have storage for like a heavy or a medium type armor because that ship was not designed to engage in combat operations that would require you to wear that type of equipment. Now, it depends on if they release something that's mining specific, like a suit. I could see that needing a storage compartment, say a mole or one of the larger ships. But I don't think it makes any sense for a ship that is not designed and not intended to be in a combat situation to have specific storage for combat situation items.
So like gun racks.
Yeah.
what about also? So my side of the argument is that because it's a game and you have people who are only going to buy 1 or 2 ships, essentially every ship is going to need to be able to store at least one full set of armor of some type. I'm not saying you need to be able to store every type, but essentially you're going to have that player who owns a Gladius, and he needs the ability to not only fly it with a suit on, but when he gets off and he lands, say in on planet side, he's going to need to have access to his armor because he doesn't have another ship that he can bring in that allows him to carry that.
Yeah,
So
that is a tough one because the way Star Citizen is set up right now, well, number one, how are you going to fit a suit on a Gladius? There is no storage for it. So you wear light armor or you don't wear any armor. But that kind of goes back into the roles, and Star Citizen has said, or CIG has said from the beginning, they want this game to be about decision making. So before you go on a mission, you have to evaluate what kind of gear you have, what kind of ship you have, and assess whether or not you're going to be capable of completing that mission. So
Essentially, it's
if
think before you.
yeah, the same way like if you're going to go on a really hot planet, you got to make sure you've got a suit that can survive that, and make sure you have water for hydration, food to survive if you get stranded. Be prepared, plan ahead. So from my perspective, you wouldn't go to uh, a mission where you have to get out and wear heavy armor if you only have a Gladius. Now, how they figure out how to give that information to the player so they can make the correct decisions based on that information, I don't know. They're gonna have to figure that out. But
are you
I
saying that if I own a Gladius, I shouldn't be able to go and do bunker missions?
no, I'm saying that you shouldn't. Well, you're not going to be able to wear heavy or medium armor. If you do it, you're going to have to accept the risk that you carry by only being able to wear medium size armor or light armor.
Earlier this afternoon, I did
I
a cave mission in just an undersuit and a helmet, so that's not super. That's not impossible at
ju-
all. And when I say
just for the
just
record,
a,
I'm actually
yeah,
sorry. Go
sorry.
ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that when I say just a undersuit and helmet, I had no weapons on me. I literally just meleeed the guy in the back, took his gun, and just gunned everyone else.
So you're saying we all have to play YOLO?
He's just saying that it's
No.
possible to do.
I'm saying, it's possible to go in unarmed and then arm yourself.
For the record, I am actually a full proponent of what that machine is talking about, in the sense that I want this game to be about making the right decisions, and that you shouldn't have to succeed. But for the purposes of what we're talking about right now, I just want you guys to know that I'm basically playing devil's advocate
Yeah.
of the armchair player who is, as they've said, is the guy who only can play a half an hour each week, and he just wants to go down and he only owns the Gladius, and he just wants to go do a bunker mission. So how does CIG find a level playing field for both ends of that spectrum? That's my argument.
Okay, so let's assume that the game is done. It's feature complete. It's released.
Yep.
We're going to assume that there is a party system. There's an ability to say that, hey, I'm doing this kind of job, and people can say, hey, I would like to come with you, kind of thing. Like looking for group, have group, looking for members, that sort of deal in the game, like through mobiGlas, through a board or whatever. Because I mean, you would assume that stuff would be available. Otherwise, how are you going to find people to
Yeah.
do missions with? So,
Yeah.
in the specific case that you're talking about, if this guy wanted to do a bunker mission, but he didn't have the correct ship, or he was uncomfortable trying to do it with the equipment that he had, then he could go on that board, find somebody who's doing bunker
Party
missions,
up.
or yeah, and party with somebody who has the proper ship, and then do it that way.
Okay. I mean, I'm actually in agreement with that. I do think, though, that I agree that there needs to be certain storage requirements on certain types of ships. In other words, if it's going to have a unique role, it absolutely does need to have that unique role capability for the equipment that you're going to need.
Well, see, they did add a weapon locker pullout thing on the Gladius, didn't they?
Yeah, yes, they did, and they even added a small storage spot. I don't know if it can actually fit, you know, a full heavy armor set, or if it's just a flight suit, or what. But to me, when I saw them doing that, that's what made me start thinking that they were in the mindset that all ships are going to need to have some capability for that storage, and that's where I started thinking about that whole, rabbit hole of, okay, so that, what about the Heralds and the 85Xs and the Razors? How are they going to fit?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. And right now, since we don't know what the end game plans are, I don't think any of us can give a really good
Yeah,
answer. We can just kind of spitball of what we would like to see and what we think roles should be.
yeah. Well, I mean, trying to get us back into on track. Again, they said, that was one of the things they mentioned in the show, is that they want to limit what armor you can wear with what job you can do, specifically geared towards the flying and sitting in turrets and stuff like that. So it's, that's something to think about for anyone who's listening. You guys good on that topic? We ready for the next one?
Yep, let's go.
Okay. Weaponware. So what they're talking about here is essentially, and they talked about that this is separate from, like, just, you shoot your weapon, you're causing wear. What this was pertaining to was, you are planet, you're on Daymar, and you go down into the prone position and you start shooting it. They want your weapon to start actually collecting dirt from the ground over time, and if you let it get to beyond a certain stage, it will actually start to have detrimental effects to the weapon's operability. And they were talking about specifically things like, maybe it'll just be a dry fire, or if you let it keep going, then maybe it actually turns into a weapons jam that you have to actually, go through a process to unjam it before you can use it again. Um, but one thing that they really stressed on this isn't going to be something where, like, you go down planet side and you lay down 5 times and suddenly your gun stops working. This is going to be a long-term process. So they didn't give us an exact definition of what that means, but they seem to be implying that this is something like, if you just use the same weapon over and over again and you never go through the cleaning process, then eventually the thing's going to not work for you because of the amount of dirt that it's collected. And of note is, they also said, at any time, if you were to spend the proper amount of time and do your weapons maintenance, it would completely clear the weapon of whatever dirt status it had. So essentially, you're back to, hey, it's the gun's clean and good for use.
Yeah, the other side of that that was interesting is that they said that when you find a weapon in a crate, it's not going to be in a
Right.
pristine, brand new state. It's going to have some randomized version of wear and tear. So you might find a gun in a crate, but it might be dirty and broken down and you can't use it, or using it would be a risk. So it's going to make things a little more interesting when you're doing looting.
Yeah. And I like the idea along with that maybe you find, you know, a unique weapon that can't be worked, isn't working right now, but if you spend the time and effort to get it back into operating order, then, hey, look what you got, you know, something unique. But I want to throw my own note on here, which is, while I like what they're talking about, the one concern that I have with this is that, because this is getting into, like, decals on the weapon to show the different states of wear and tear, I'm worried that because they don't want to mess with that, it's going to be that much harder for us to get the ability to paint our weapons in game. In other words, you buy your bright shiny sniper rifle, but you want to black it out, stealth black or green or whatever environment you're going to. I think they're going to be less interested in allowing that process to happen, because that means that they need to go in and adjust what all those dirt decals, how those dirt decals interact with, the 3,076 flavors of shading that the players decide they want.
Well, I don't think it's that complicated. They could just add a particular shader on the weapon that changes its state over a period of time based on the wear. I don't think it'd be that bad, honestly.
Stop killing that cat.
Meow.
And to be honest, I don't know, like the dev side of that, if that is a complicated thing. That was just the first kind of concern that popped into my head. So you could be absolutely right that it's a really simple thing. I don't know, but that was just something that popped in my head, like, So, anybody else? Next topic.
No, I think we're good. I just want to say that the weapon thing, I like that it's not, oh, you fired it like 17 times. Now you maintenance it, like most games where it's like, you're using the armor because, whatever. It just, here it's more, no, like you're using the gun for, say, 3 months and you haven't maintenance it. You gotta do something.
And actually, to go ahead and jump again to another thing is that was mentioned later on, is they also talked about that your weapons are going to have hit points. So you're in a firefight and your weapon actually gets hit by the enemy's ballistic weapon. There's a chance that it may damage your weapon to the point where you can't use it, or you don't fix it after the fact and you keep trying to use it. It might deteriorate continuously as you use it to the point where it stops functioning. They didn't say specifically anything about like explosive disassembly, but I would assume that might be one option. I think it should be there. But
it's called kinetic shock.
How dare you?
So another weapons kind of related item is they talked about the fact that they want environmental effects to have an impact on your weapon ammo. So in other words, think like atmospheric pressure affecting bullet drop distance. They didn't say this specifically, but I was thinking maybe types of environments have different bonuses or negatives to the type of ammunition that you're using. So like, if you're in a very dense environment, then maybe ballistics isn't the way to go. Maybe lasers are better. Or maybe it's just the right kind of caustic or not even caustic is the wrong word, but mixture of gases that you don't want to use a laser weapon, because maybe it burns it off, or it creates a tracer effect that leads right back to your position, just because the way the laser interacts with the gases. I don't know, but they want that to be in game, is what they're saying. Atmosphere, the atmospheric environment affecting your ammunition.
Yeah,
Good.
I'm
I'm
100%
actually
for that.
because yellow has an oxygen, like very oxygen atmosphere. So using a laser weapon in that would not be wise.
Or like if you're on a hydrogen gas rich environment, maybe you don't want to use a ballistic burning propellant.
Right.
Why not? What could go wrong?
I don't know. Look up the Hindenburg.
Never heard of it.
So the next item, I'm going to leave this one to Data because he probably understood it better than I did. Hacking.
Right. So they clarified a lot of their goals with hacking, and I'm just going to say right off the bat that I am a lot less skeptical about the direction they're heading as far as the hacking gameplay. Before, it sounded like they just wanted a very simple switch things around so you find the correct path. It's probably better just to watch that part of the video because I'm not sure I can paraphrase it better than the way they described it. But you're basically going to, well, first they're going to separate the way hacking works. You're still going to have the hacking chip, but you're going to have another item that you carry with you that gives you a wireless connection to that chip. So you insert the chip into the console, and then you use the other tool to connect to it. And then through that tool, you're basically intruding into the system that you're trying to hack, and you're trying to open pathways to get into uh, different systems. And along the way, depending on the level of difficulty of that hack, there's going to be automated AI, basically antivirus programs that are trying to stop you or inhibit you from accessing the system. And it's still in development. They're still trying different things, but I'm way more optimistic on the actual gameplay than I was before because it sounds like it's not going to just be some dumb click on this thing to rotate it the right direction. It's going to be more involved.
Essentially,
And
the
also,
pipes from
yeah,
Bioshock.
yeah.
No
And they
one
also
wants
said-
that. No one likes it.
Yeah, they also said that there is going to be a console version. Like
Command prompt.
Oh, command prompt. Yes, there's also going to be a command prompt for people who want to use it. So yeah, I'm
And-
now looking forward to it instead of dreading it.
And they said that if you use the command prompts to go through the hacking procedures, that'll actually give you like essentially buffs to
Right.
completing the thing. So you'll have a visual interactive that you can use for as like the general vanilla version that anyone can interact. But if you want to get better or be more professional in it, then you can actually get into knowing the command prompt terminology, and it'll make you more successful by using that. All right, I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And then on the flip side, well, if someone is trying to hack in your ship, which you will be able to do, I'm assuming this is if you're on the ship. They didn't really clarify, but the owner of that ship will get a notification saying that someone is trying to hack it. And then they will have the ability to get into the system and then manually try to block the hacker. So essentially be you trying to stop them from getting access to your ship systems. Sounds like an interesting back and forth kind of PvP gameplay in a programming sense.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. I wasn't expecting that. So the fact that you'll be able to hack people's ships. I mean, eventually, long term, I was thinking, yeah, it'll happen, but I didn't realize that they were this close to talking about it. The other thing they threw in there was that basically, if it's a computer controlled thing, eventually they want you to be able to hack it. So, if it's an environmental situation, like environmental controls, they want you to be able to, turn off the oxygen or flood the oxygen or evacuate the oxygen. If you need the fire suppression system to go off, you should be able to hack that. If it's an automated production line, you should be able to mess with that. Like in the factory or something like that. Essentially, if it's computer controlled, they want you to be able to hack, which I like. I like the idea of essentially, if it's computer controlled and we can get our fingers in it, then we should be able to have an effect on it. The one thing they talked about that and Data touched on it as well, but they didn't go in more in depth with that I wish they had, was talking about the antivirus side and like the protection levels that you might be able to put into your systems to make you less vulnerable. So it's unclear how you're going to be able, like, are you going to be able to upgrade your ship to be more resistant to hacking by, I don't know, like buying a antivirus package for it, or is it going to be a
An
component
onboard
that you have to
AI
buy?
that'll
Or
fight
yeah,
intrusions or some shit.
they didn't. They did not specify any of this. So I'm using terms just that I've made up, but I think that would be something that I'd be interested in hearing more about. I'm sure they will. It's just right now, I think they're focused on just the hack side of it first, and then I think later on we'll probably get more anti-hacking understanding out of them.
Well, they
Uh,
did say that the difficulty of the hack is partly
to,
is going to be more difficult because there's going to be a stronger antivirus or maybe just more
yeah,
antivirus agents. So, I mean, there's going to be the potential for upgrades. I don't know if you'll be able to do it on your ship, but I assume that there will be different kinds of software that you can put on your ship as upgrades.
yeah, and they did. That is a good point. They did specify that the level of
Major.
hack is going to be determined by the different levels of strength of antivirus
Yeah,
AI
defenses. Yeah.
defenses that are coming that you're going up against. So, an easy hack might just be a a level 1 generic antivirus hack AI, and then but if you're trying to go into the I don't know, the local UEE Navy
Criminal database.
database, yeah, it might be like a level 4 AI that you're going up against. And it could be, maybe it's not just a level 4, maybe it's that there's 4 level 4s hanging out in that system. So you're not just fighting one, you're fighting multiples. I don't know. Um, and it might be interesting that, like, maybe each AI level is still there. So like when you go into a level 4 system, it's not just that you're going up against a level 4 AI. Maybe you're going up against a level 1, level 2, level 3, and a level 4, and that's
Yeah.
what makes it a level 4. I don't know. Just some interesting ideas on
Yeah,
What
we
if
haven't
what if
seen. So go ahead.
I was gonna say, what if I bribe the AI with some microchips and
you
salsa?
do that, Cam. You go ahead.
some silicone donuts.
You never know, it could work.
I mean, yeah,
Some
possibly.
some little gigabytes.
Mm.
Well, one idea I had was, what if there's a way that you can like flood the system with like basically bots. So you're going up against a level 4. So rather than you going in and being the only intruder, maybe there's a way that you can insert 25 bots, and then the AI is trying to figure out which one's actually you and which one's the bots, and that gives you a certain amount of increased time capability, to get in to where you're trying to go or something. Again,
Well,
this is just pure conjecture.
just like how they're showing off for mining that you're going to have these mining devices that you can go out and put on the asteroid to make mining a lot easier for you. Um, I wouldn't be surprised to have them be like, well, hey, here you can get this consumable item that you go and you put on there, and it will delay the AI, or it will deploy your own to
Yeah,
fight against it, or some such thing.
yeah, I could totally see that. Again,
Yep.
they didn't go into any of this, so this is us totally spitballing. But
I'm still holding some reservation until I see the actual UI and the type of gameplay that comes with hacking, but I'm
It's
cautiously
all pipe.
optimistic now.
It's all
two,
pipes.
2 years later, Data Machine's like, God damn it, the interface is blue. I wanted green. I'm totally dissatisfied.
I wanted the cyberpunk orange. What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I agree. I think you
Not
looking
in
at the
magenta,
way
damn it.
they've the depth they've gone to in other systems, I think eventually we'll get quite a lot. And what I'm in agreement with Data Machine, which is I was kind of nervous about what they were going to come up with based off of like not having any info at all, and what they dumped on us from this, I'm pleasantly surprised and looking forward to it.
How dare
Basically,
you.
what I want from all the gameplay from Star Citizen, I want the bar for entry to be low, but I want the ceiling to be very high.
Yeah. The ability to specialize through actual learning.
Yeah, the skill ceiling, like what you can do, becomes more complex, but you can get better at it as you go up. So anybody can start, but if you want to be really good at it, you have to use skill and knowledge to
Yeah.
succeed.
I'm on board with that.
So,
Okay. Let's see. So next item. Sorry, go ahead, Mando.
no, I was just agreeing that that's the best way you do a game too. Is you set it low so anyone can enter, but then when you do enter, you see how high it goes up.
Yep. It's
No,
it's picking up on like the third syllable.
No, it's yeah, I'm just going to fucking activity. I apologize. Streamlabs wasn't picking me up. I was saying how I agree. I want people to be able to walk into it, and it's easy. You can just walk right in. So then you look up and you can see how high it can go.
Yeah.
There's a high ceiling, but normal entryway. But yeah. So what were you going to say next? Next topic.
Next topic. Okay. So they went into they spent quite a time talking about weapons, and specifically what they're talking about is they're going essentially all handheld weapons are getting a complete review and potential overhaul. So what they want is they want each weapon line to be unique in the experience that the player has with that weapon. So when you pick up I'm just gonna pick a bearing. So when you pick up a bearing weapon, it's going to handle in a unique manner from all the other production lines. And hopefully what they want is hopefully you will find one that you like, and whenever you pick that weapon up, you'll know what type of weapon you're using from the interaction that you're getting off of it, which is interesting. But I'm just going to throw this caveat on it. I was a little worried by the guy who was talking about it was really into like, we want these things to look cool, and he basically repeated that kind of like over and over again. And I got this. That what made me nervous is he seemed to be focused on them looking cool more than the utility,
functionality. Yeah.
the functionality. Yeah. And I'm not saying that that's the case, but that was just kind of an impression. I'd like to think that, he was on the show, so that was just kind of the mode that he was in for the show, and that overall they are still very much about the function. But that was just a little concern that I had from the way he kept repeating the topic of how cool they looked. He used about 5 different adjectives for the same thing, but on the that aside, the big deal is that essentially all the handheld weapons are getting reviewed right now, and the ones that they deem worthy of it or necessary of it are going to get upgraded to look better and perform to perform it more within the product line for whichever manufacturer they're with. So that's a good thing. And along with that, they talked that certain things like the the bearing SMG apparently is confirmed that it's already been overhauled, and they're saying that it actually looks very different from what we're used to. Don't know what that actually means yet, but wait and see.
Yeah, I don't really.
Yeah, I mean, so far the guns feel great, so I have nothing to complain about right now. Well, except for some of the
Complain
guns.
about
The
everything.
shotguns are still not there yet. You know, they're just they feel like they don't have a place in the game right now.
Well, I don't know. In bunker missions, they're decent. If you
And
go
that's the
farther
ballistic
than like
ones, though.
10 meters, then yeah, they don't pack a punch. But right now, up close, a shotgun is really strong if you get the first shot off because it'll knock you off your feet,
Yeah,
and you're basically at the mercy of whoever just shot you because you're not going to be able to get back up before they finish you off if they want to.
that's fair. Okay, but I was using the Devastator, the plasma shotgun, during the cave mission because the first guy I took out, he had a shotgun, and I'm using it, and it's not knocking them back, and they are not getting killed. I had to empty a clip into one guy in order to kill him, and it didn't even kill him. He bled out.
Yeah, I think the spread is still a little bit too wide on most of them, but I mean, up close they're deadly. But I agree with you. In a cave situation, I mean, those ranges are so far that they're not going to be useful for much. I am interested to see what direction they go with making the weapons feel. Did he use the word unique? I don't remember exactly the term he used to describe.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact wording myself, but essentially each line wants is basically the impression that I got is think about it this way for those of you who are familiar
No.
with guns. You know, if you pick up an a Kalashnikov made weapon, it has a very distinct behavior and feel, and when you fire it, the sound that it makes and the way that it functions is unique to the Kalashnikov weapon. You won't get that same experience if you pick up an M4 or an M15 rifle. It's going to have a totally different feel. It's going to have a different interaction. You know where your levers and buttons and things are on the weapon, and you're going to know. You know if you had a blindfold on, if you picked up an AK-47 or you know Kalashnikov, and you're familiar with weapons in general, you're going to know that you have an AK in your hand. And if you pick up an M15 or an M16, you're going to know that it's an M16 weapon. Like that's what they're going for, is that sense of I've picked up a bearing rifle or I've picked up a Castak arms.
That sounds overbearing.
Ha 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 ha.
That's your best one yet tonight.
Hey, I'm trying to think up as many Star Citizen puns as I can. Here's one for you.
Are you making a
Okay.
Star Citizen toilet paper roll?
Stan,
Pun of
Where's
the
the
day?
mute button? How do you mute somebody?
if Stan from Hurston Dynamics to
Like that?
cargo standard and everyone is forced to use it in the system, do they call it a Stan ton?
Yes, Cam. Yes, they do.
Okay. So the next item that they worked on was restraints. They are working on them. However,
Inky.
they were
the fuzzy
asked
handcuffs
about.
or just the metal ones?
Well, they were talking about the fuzzy ones. I think specifically. No. The question that was asked is if there was going to be things like zip cuffs. Can you tie somebody's hands up, things like that? And the response that came back is, yes, we're working on restraints. Right now, we're working on manacles. So basically, think handcuffs, specifically for the bounty hunter mechanics. But in the long term, and they said that's basically their focus right now. But they also said in the long term, yeah, we want to look at other types. So for those of you who are all into that stuff, not really the answer that you want, but are you getting a basic set of restraints? Yes.
So this raises a question that we've talked about before, but I guess I'll just go over it again. What is the gameplay going to look like in PvP for someone who gets captured? Because CIG have already stated, and they realize that it's it's not fun gameplay for you not to be in control of your character. And if you get captured by a bounty hunter and they subdue you, what what's the gameplay?
Yeah,
I mean,
and then the guy doesn't even take you directly there. He stops off for 2 other missions on the way to taking you in. That's
Here's an
not
interesting
gameplay.
point.
What?
Just to interject real quick. Here's an interesting point on that note. Again, not being in control of your character is not fun gameplay.
Yeah.
Look at medical
No.
right now. Hey, I'm down. I'm sitting here for an hour and a half up to waiting for someone to get to me. And literally all I'm doing is I've got a camera and I'm staring at the screen. I mean that's pretty darn close to, hey, I've been captured. I'm in a prisoner pod. I'm staring at the screen waiting for my buddies to come and rescue me.
well, the difference with that game though is that you have the option to give up if you want to, if you don't want to
Oh,
wait.
sure.
Well,
And
I
they
think
could
that's
do the
where they're
same
going.
thing.
I
But
think that's. Go ahead.
just as it is right now, medical gameplay is incredibly frustrating on the end of, hey, I've just gone down, especially because 90% of the time in this patch so far, people are going down in bunker missions because that's the new thing, right? And because of that, well, hey, those turrets
Hey,
are going to be firing
where you
on
go
your
down on
would-be
people,
rescue.
I don't want to know about, Cam.
Oh,
Well,
God.
Chief.
Like the turrets on that bunker are going to be firing on your would-be
Yep.
rescuer. Those guards that are friendly to you are going to be firing on your would-be rescuer. That's not good gameplay, right? And I understand we're still at tier 0 of it, but still, I just think it's a good good time to that you're sitting there, you can't do anything. Like it'd be one thing if the down state was something more akin to like Gears of War, to where it's like you can't fire weapons, but you can essentially crawl on the ground a bit and try to get away or get into a better position or try to do something. You still have some control of your character, as opposed to just, I'm on the ground, I'm doing nothing, waiting, hoping someone will hopefully come pick me up. And you have no guarantee of that. You have no response of, if someone picks that up and they crash. They're like, hey, I can't find you. They decide to go and fuck off and do something else. You have no idea because you can't interact with them.
So
Yeah,
I
I
can't.
You're
mean,
completely out of it.
there are different ways the CIG can solve those problems.
Absolutely.
I mean, we can go down that rabbit hole, but my question specifically was for. Sorry, go ahead, call sign.
So I just want to throw this out there. I can't put my finger on I can't quote you exactly, but my understanding is the direction they're going is, once you're captured, you the player, as the person who is captured, you'll have the option to wait it out, or you can actually go, no, I've been captured, press the button, and you basically are fast forwarded through the capture process. You go on. Meanwhile, the guy who captured you, he's still going to have a body that he's got to go through all the steps and procedures of getting that body to back to get it claimed, and he continues on with his gameplay. So you, as the player, the captured person, you're not caught in that no man's land of sitting around doing nothing. And the bounty hunter still has to go through the procedures and the headaches of moving a warm body from point A to point B.
So in other
That's
words,
my understanding.
you take a nap while you're in prison.
My biggest
like he's still transporting your body, but you're in prison serving your time already.
Yeah. My biggest concern though with the whole bounty hunting capturing kind of thing is just that they're going to have to make a fairly robust and broad system to prevent abuse of the capture system, so that you don't just have people constantly just ambushing players and like, oh, I've captured you, oh, I've captured you, oh, I've captured you.
Look what
to
happened
the
with the
point
medical
that
gun.
Players can no longer play the game.
I mean, look what happened to the medical gun and how people abused that.
Exactly. People were immediately going around in the stations and overdosing people, And it's like you do sometimes have people getting hurt because of glitches and stuff in cities, but sorry,
You
some
weren't
people
playing with
wanted to
us.
go in. But it's just a major concern, because otherwise, like I said, you're going to constantly have people be, just running around capturing people left, right, and center, and essentially getting to the point where people can no longer play the game because, sorry, you're captured again, again, again.
I
Yeah.
don't remember if it was in this latest ISC or one of the previous videos, but they talked about the reason that they removed the using the med gun in no fire zones is because they do not have the systems in game in place to take care of those people that
Yeah.
take advantage of it.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
My big worry, though, is just that as it is right now, for most kinds of legalities, systems are pretty much reactive, because we don't know a person's intent. We don't know what it is they're actually trying to do. We aren't mind readers here. Now, in a game, of course, we can get a lot closer to that. We can have it to where, for example, if you were in a city and you just pull out a weapon, let's say every area in the station has cameras and turrets and stuff, and as soon as you pull a weapon out, you immediately have 2 turrets and a couple of different cameras all pointing at you going, hey, you better fucking put that away or else. And even if you were to get to an area where it's like, let's say if you're in a turret blind zone, the cameras are still going to be seeing what you're doing, or the IFF is gonna know what you're doing, something like that. And so it's like, sure, you might be safe in that exact spot, but NPC security is coming after you, and they're gonna flush you out into areas where there's turrets, and you're gonna get fucked up. But it's still inherently a reactive system.
they've
If I manage to get a weapon in and I just start blasting away at people, inherently I'm going to get a couple shots off probably before a turret or an NPC takes me down. And therein is the issue, is that I, as a bad actor, I am probably going to be able to hurt someone before any automated systems get in place. And just that, we need to be able to balance actual gameplay and people choosing that, hey, yes, there's consequences to this, and accepting those and going for a risky maneuver, versus, hey, I'm a troll and I'm just, I don't care about the consequences. Say I've got 5 accounts, I'm going to go and just fuck someone's day up on this one. Oh, I'm in jail now. Okay, let me just switch characters to the next one and ruin someone else's day while the first one's waiting out their jail time, or whatever the case might be. Just, there have to be enough systems in place to prevent people from just using throwaway characters like that to ruin people's days. Because, for example, sorry, I know I'm rambling here a bit, but if
All good.
in the case of like pad ramming is the classic example, and I know they've taken steps to address it, but if I'm preparing for an expedition, it's taken me 5 hours to get my buddy's gear all together onto the ship and get everything stacked up there, and then all it takes is some bad actor 3 minutes to spawn his ship, and then ram it into mine. And hey, all those hours of preparation are now gone, at least to some degree. Minimum, I'm having to go and claim my ship, and maybe my gear is still here, but I will have to move it back to my ship. There's an inherent power imbalance between someone who wants to be a bad actor versus me trying to play the game. And there need to be ways to address that, to where people can take those risky chances, but regular players also aren't just inherently at a loss if someone decides, I want to fuck your day up.
They have said that they want to start segregating essentially those bad actors. So as those bad actors play, the more they are bad actors, the more they're going to start noticing that the shards that they are in are going to be with those other bad actors. So you're going to have,
if a character is used constantly to do crimes, even if it's a throwaway character, you're only going to be on a server with other bad people.
exactly. Like the more you, not necessarily just that, instantly it happens, but it's like, hey, guess what?
Over time.
Your character over time has been essentially flagged for doing those bad actor things, then you're slowly going to get shuffled further and further away from those people who aren't doing that kind of stuff.
That's fair.
And they're on record as saying that that's something they're interested in doing.
So the pulling out weapons in different secure zones, they kind of addressed that when they were talking about inventory. Someone asked a question of, "Our when can we have the ability to pull out our weapon in our hands and customize it?" And the answer was, right now you can customize it by dragging attachments out of your inventory onto the weapon. But they alluded that in the future they plan that if you pull out your weapon in an area you're not supposed to, then you're immediately going to get arrested by security. But right now they have to disable weapons in zones because they just don't have the systems in place to take care
There
of
really
that
is
sort
no
of thing.
security to
Right.
yeah determine
But
deter players from doing that.
For context, they also were saying that, because what was being asked as well was like, hey, I'm in a city where I'm not supposed to have weapons, but I'm in the gun store. I want to be able to, brandish that weapon and try different parts on.
In the gun store.
And when are we going to have that ability? And that was part of that answer was, hey, we just don't have it right now. But eventually, they do want that. So while you're in the weapons store, you're going to be able to brandish that weapon. But step outside the doors with that thing, and boom, guess what? Security's on their way.
No,
And also,
absolutely, that's fair.
Also, when you were talking about you don't know what a player's intention is, and you're afraid people are just going to be capturing people all over the place. There's always going to be that risk if you have an interaction with another player when you're outside of a security zone, period. Even with medical gameplay, somebody could put up a medical beacon and that could be a trap. The same with someone in chat saying, "Hey, can you come get me? I'm stuck." You go there and then you get ambushed and just killed. There's always going to be that risk, and there's not going to be there shouldn't be a 100% guarantee that what you're doing is going to be safe, because
No, absolutely.
I
just want
totally
to make sure
agree.
there's a there's a balance between
Yeah.
hey, there's an inherent right. This is a dangerous universe, right? You've got all kinds of criminals and shady areas and stuff. But at the same point, if I'm in the middle of a city in a bright lit area, my chance of being having someone throw a bag over my head and drag me off should be near zero, unless I'm some wanted criminal and bounty hunters are authorized to act in this area. Some shit like that.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if in PTU they just give people the ability to lock you up or subdue you anywhere, but I imagine it's going to take the same course as the med gun did, and they'll just have it disabled when you're in an armistice zone or a main city area, and then anywhere else, it's fair game. But I imagine that to lock someone up, first you're going to have to subdue them. So right now, there's no way to do that except put someone in a down state. And if you do that, then they'll give you a crime stat. In the future, you're going to have weapons that will, like stun guns. But even then, if you're attacking someone that has no crime stat, I'm assuming that will also give you a crime stat. So it's not like you're going to be able to do it for free.
Yeah. No, that's true.
And we also don't know how the mechanics are going to work with the subdue gameplay either. So there's that also.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see any of this until bounty hunting gets fleshed out.
Yeah, it's
No,
probably going to be.
No, I mean right now bounty hunting is just glorified dogfighting and assassination.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna move on to the next one, unless anyone has.
No, how dare you?
No.
Real quick, how many more do we have to go over? Because I'm starting to run out of time.
All of them.
I got 6 items left on my list.
Okay, let's beat these up.
So next one is specialized backpacks. Essentially, if you can think of a specialization, they're gonna have a backpack for it. Is where they want to go.
So
they
if
didn't.
I want to be a rodeo clown.
Yep, you can have your ventriloquist wooden dummy strapped to your back, Cam.
Whale oil miner.
All right.
They didn't give us exact specifics, but essentially they want it. They're thinking about it. They're trying to figure out how to do it, and it's gonna happen.
So whale oil.
You know, sorry.
No, I was saying whale oil miner.
Yeah,
Whale,
exactly.
whale, whale.
So, you know, they just whatever you can think of, they're going to be going for it. Next item is smoke grenades, incendiary, stun, etc. for ammo types.
We haven't
and
heard
that
anything
was-
about these grenades since 2.6. Good to hear that they still exist.
Yes.
Yep. And they're talking about actually having different colors of smoke too, so you can actually,
Ooh,
you know,
nice.
use them for different identification purposes. Which, hey, that's smart.
Target the red smoke, not the green smoke, not the green smoke.
Green
Exactly.
smoke. We got green smoke. Shit, I already dropped my payload.
Yeah, whoop.
Hey, this is a PG site, man. Come on.
When?
Alien. You said you dropped your load. Anyways, alien weapons will be out there. Unclear on how we will be able to use them or interact or whatever, but they will be out there. But they also said, don't hold your breath. You know, we're working on all the all the normal human weapons first. Alien weapons will be, you know, after we've completed all that. But they are going to work on them.
Well, we know they already started working on some of them for Squadron. Like the Vanduul Energy Lance and the Xi'an rocket launcher.
Yeah, sorry. I guess for context, the question that was asked was implied, like, how are we going to be able to use those weapons? And that's what they're talking about. Like, yes, eventually we want to have you guys be able to interact with them, use them, but we don't know how and we don't know when. If that
I
makes
want
sense.
to rip the gun off the ship and hold it in my hand.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm wearing mech armor. I should be able to do that, right?
Yeah.
Possibly.
Then let's see. Oh, okay. Next item. I wrote turret things coming. I'm like, what did I mean? So what they're talking about is personalized turrets. So like being able to basically have that specialized backpack that's maybe carrying that specialized turret on the back. You run down the hallway, throw out that turret, boom, automated, you know, weapon defense pops up and it starts covering the area for you. That kind of stuff. Defense shields, you know, so you pull something off your backpack, throw it on the ground, you get a little defensive shield pops up. Maybe it's blocking, you know,
That's giving me
ballistics
some
or
Halo
lasers
vibes,
or
but that's a
something.
good thing.
Right. And then the other thing that they specifically mentioned that they are bringing with that is physical shields. So in other words, your riot control shield that you actually, you know, your front guy is carrying, and then you've got the rest of your party stacked up behind him as he moves down the hallway, kind of a thing. So that'll be kind of interesting, I think.
That will be interesting. I want to be able to. Can we melee with the shields? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
I want to just smack someone in the face with a shield.
That's actually another thing is they talked about the melee weapons is essentially, yes, they're going to be bringing those online. However, right now it's basically probably going to be nothing but a baton, but eventually they want to look into like swords and axes and, you know, things like that.
Basically, they said if you can think of it as a melee weapon, they want to investigate adding it into the game.
Yeah. And then, of course, Lando was saying he wanted a baseball bat, and they said no. So we'll see what happens.
Bastards.
What about a tennis racket? No, a frying pan.
No, rackets are great because you can actually, like, you know, you can bang them over the head, and then you hoop them, and you got them by the neck, and you know you just direct them where you want them to go.
Right.
So last item.
A good time.
NVGs. So
yeah.
night vision goggles.
Right.
The question was asked, when are we going to get that? And the answer was, we're working on them for so that you can use them on
I think
scopes.
we all are cheering inside right now at the sound of that.
Weapons, basically, the way they answered the question was they're focusing on weapons attachments having that ability first, and along with that is not just MVG, but scopes are going to be all different types. So think of like
So like
your
infrared,
thermals
heat
and
vision, stuff like that.
sorry.
So like an infrared scope, a heat vision scope, stuff like night vision scope, that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. But then at the tail end of that comment, they actually said later on there will probably be visors that you can get for certain types of armor that'll give you those capabilities.
Well, helmets specifically, different types
Yes.
of helmets that will have that functionality built into them.
Well, and also too, we might see again down the line that because armor should be upgradable, maybe there'll be some
Kind of
of
subcomponent for the helmet.
like CPU slot on the helmet that will give it different functionality there that it would not otherwise have. But then you're cutting out, hey, maybe for example, I can go and get NVGs or thermal vision on my visor here, so when I'm walking around, I can turn that on. But because of that, I can't have an enhanced sensor module that would give me more range for my FPS scanner or something like that.
Or you can or it can be something similar to like the multi-tool attachments versus the designated gun for that role that the attachment serves, like the medical gun and the multi-tool attachment medical device. Obviously the med gun is superior, and you can have more control and more versatility with it compared to the multi-tool attachment. So maybe something like that, where it's just an attachment into the helmet, right, like a subcomponent. But it's not going to be as good whether it's like you're sacrificing something already in the helmet, or it's just it's a limited time thing. But it's not as good as the helmet that comes with it by default.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they do the design, because their design philosophy is always benefit versus trade-off. So you might have something that's really good at this, but it's going to be really bad at all the rest of the things. And that's that comes into the decision-making gameplay. What kind of equipment do you need for this job, and picking the right equipment for the specific job you're at. So you could have really good night vision, but your helmet doesn't have all the other features that a generic helmet would have.
Or like missing some of them, yeah, pretty much.
Well, and then also too, they've talked about having like unique gear too, like as either quest rewards or finding it off of loot tables, that kind of stuff here. So you might find, hey, I've got a helmet that has that enhanced scanner range, and it's got night vision, and it's got thermal vision. Oh, but to run all of that, my helmet now is taking up 3 times as much power draw as the normal helmet would, which means I'm either going to have to be turning off other suit systems. Perhaps I've got some active cooling or active heating elements on my suit that would go and help to protect me from environmental effects there. Hey, I got to turn that off now. Otherwise, I can't run those features at the same time. And now, because of that too, I'm giving off a much higher IR or infrared signature than I would otherwise. So if someone's looking for me, they're going to find me a lot easier because I've got one, this power draw, and two, whatever tech it's using to go and scan the area here, it's sending out a lot of excess energy.
Yeah, I actually like that idea with pretty much all the different types. Like, hey, I've got MVGs, but maybe because of the way they operate, that means that anyone else with MVGs can see me a little bit easier as well.
Or if they use IR, you're lighting up like a sore thumb.
Yep,
right.
Exactly. So you have the benefit, but there's a downside against anyone else who has that same benefit.
The one thing that I don't want to see, that CIG probably doesn't want to see either, is just having one piece of equipment that can do everything.
What do you have against Swiss Army knives, man?
They're Swiss.
Yeah, I hate the Swiss.
So you're against Gerber multi-tools.
I'm
Girther, I
against
barely know her.
anything. I'm against equipment that you buy that just gives you a general. This can do everything, and there's no downside to using it,
Yeah,
or no
I hear you.
significant downside. Because I mean, if you can swap out power in your suit, then what? It doesn't matter if whatever you're wearing requires a whole bunch of power. You just
No,
bring
actually, I
some
was gonna
extra
think,
batteries.
what if you take Cam's idea where it's like this thing that can do a lot, but it needs a larger power supply, like something like you have all
And
the
then it's
best
like you might
ships.
be able to upgrade your suit. Oh, hey, I can buy a bigger
Well, I
power
was saying
supply.
what, like
Cool, great,
some of the
excellent. But
like
that's
it
going to
only
cost you
works
a lot of money.
with they say it only works
And
with heavy
you're
armor.
increasing your IR again.
Yeah, but
Yep.
say it
Yep.
only works with heavy armor because you need that type of like larger power. Um, like we have shipwreck. If you do a certain thing of coolers and your weapons and shield generators, you're gonna need to upgrade your power plant, your ship as well, because you need to generate the power that goes to all that. So.
Actually, that totally leads into a question that I wanted to bring up later on. But since we're winding up, just with the way these we're getting new systems that are going to be bigger and wider, do you think that you're going to start seeing people buying different types of components to be able to do essentially think of like quantum drives? Are we going to start seeing people buying a low consumption, maybe slower quantum drive, but it gets you a lot further across a system, and then you have a second component, a second quantum drive that you're also hauling along, that once you get there you're going to pull it out and swap it out, and it's your fast drive? And
Well,
are they going to start providing storage capability for that?
so they have said that they know that transferring components is, or not being able to transfer components is a problem, and we will be able to do that in the future. So
Cool.
um, now I don't think you're going to be able to swap components on the fly in your ship, unless, I mean, maybe if you have a Vulcan nearby, because that's repair rearm. But I mean, you've seen the size of some of those components. There's no way you're going to be able, you would
No, but then
physically be able
say
to, in
something
the
like a
game, transfer this huge quantum drive on the fly. So I seriously doubt that you'll have the ability to do that. That's probably, you have to be at a station and your ship has to be stored, kind of deal.
You just killed Chewbacca.
You can just say you don't like his idea. No, I'm kidding.
It would
no, I
be
mean just
interesting
just
to
merge
see
the
that.
two ideas. You're
It
carrying
will
the
be,
quantum drive, and then you just go at the station that you wanted or the location that you were trying to get to, and swap it out there, and now you have free reign of that location with faster drive.
yeah, it'll be interesting to see the kind of quantum drives people choose to equip when Pyro gets out, because it's going to be so much
Yeah.
larger than Stanton.
Yeah, people are gonna go, because right now people are like, oh, I got a prospector, I want the fastest quantum drive I can find, so I can get the quantanium back to the refinery as quick as possible. And you're just gonna see like the exact opposite end of the spectrum in general with ships, I think, with Pyro, because people are gonna be like, I need to be able to actually make it like halfway across the system before running out of fuel.
Well, refueling is going to be a thing when we get
Yeah,
Pyro, and
yeah.
uh, yeah, it's going to be. That a lot of that gameplay is probably going to play out the same way that Med gameplay works, where
Oh yeah.
you got to be careful who you go to refuel, because there's, especially in Pyro, probably a
Yeah.
high chance that the people you're going to help are not there because they need help. They're
Yeah.
they're a honeypot.
Yep, exactly. I'm looking forward to it, because
It's
I
gonna be fun.
I don't take this the wrong way, but I think that the general Star Citizen community, and I'm being very generalistic here,
How dare you?
but I think that there's quite a large percentage of the community right now that thinks of this game as just like, I'm gonna jump in, I'm gonna bebop around and do this and this, and boop, and then I'll jump out and go on about my day.
Well, you're not wrong. You're absolutely not wrong. But on the other
No.
hand, too, there's far too many people that I've especially seen on the forums and chats who, seem to be gleefully looking forward to any and every way to ruin someone's day, simply for the fact of ruining someone's day. Not because I want to be a pirate, I want to play the game that way, but just because I want to fuck someone's day up and screw them over.
So there's two types of people that I've well in the PvP category. There's the people who want PvP, and since there isn't a really good way to engage in that in Star Citizen right now, they have to do bad things to get a crime stat high enough that other people come and hunt them, and that's what they want. And one of the biggest downsides of that is that generally people who don't want PvP, get killed or destroyed, and then you
I
have the
totally.
others.
I'm sorry I'm jumping in on you here, Data, but I just want to throw this. I totally disagree with the PvPers saying I'm only being a dick because you don't, there's no gameplay for me. That's not an argument. That's like
I'm
me
not
saying,
it's
well,
an argument. I'm just saying that
yeah,
these are the categories that I see. And
gotcha.
then
Well,
in
because you
that,
can just as easily say, "Hey, I want to fight any comers, Grim Hex right now. Me and whoever the fuck shows." 'Cause I've seen people do that plenty of times.
Go for it, Data.
and then the other subset of people in the PvP category are the ones that just are out there to ruin people's days. I had one of them in 315 yesterday, I think it was, at Grim Hex. They were flying around in the new Redeemer, just blasting anybody who came out of Grim. And I was in my freelancer. I saw someone get wasted, so I was just sitting there just outside of the landing base, inside the armistice zone, and they came over there with their ship and tried to push me out of the armistice zone. So
Yeah.
so they could kill me, which they couldn't get me out because their ship wasn't, or like the way thrusters work. But I mean, there's always going to be those types of people in the game. And where was I going with this? I mean, there's no way to.
PvP, something. Not everyone's an asshole. Something.
Yeah, there's no way to get around that. And as the community grows, as the game gets more popular and becomes more feature complete, there's going to be even more of those types of people.
But at least now they're going to have a place to be.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, hey, look, it's just going to add to the reputation and the feel of Pyro. It's a dangerous place to go there.
That's another thing that
alone.
It's dangerous.
That will help avoid those people is like a reputation system that persists on that character.
Yeah. I just think it's going to be interesting to see a lot of the people who aren't aware of like the impact of the game are going to be wandering through Pyro going like, oh, well, I'm just here to do this. And they're just going to get, for lack of a better term, gang raped and be like, oh my God, that was a traumatic experience. I never want to go to Pyro again.
Well, you know what's going to happen to us too, because we're going to go and experience that content because it's a new place, and
yeah, absolutely,
it's lawless. It's going to happen. So,
but if you know that and you're aware of it, like you're going there because, like, hey, I've been around.
You're going in
when
prepared.
Grim Hex
yeah,
was the only thing in town, and I remember what happened there, so I have an idea of how bad players can be. But I'm going to go over here just to go investigate it. Whereas I think there's a large part of the community that never goes to Grim Hex and has never tried Jump Town. And all they're doing is, running from ArcCorp to New Babbage and going, isn't this a great game? And when they go to Pyro, they're going to get a totally different view.
At the same point, though, the game should be supporting a wide range of play styles. Because the problem is that what I'm often seeing in a lot of these other chat stuff are and I suspect many of them are not even just the PvPers, but the griefers, the ones who just want to ruin someone's day. Their day is not complete unless they have someone who frustrating rage quit, whatever.
Trolls.
Yeah, literally. But their gameplay should not come solely at the expense of other people's gameplay. It should, there should be support that, hey, if I'm in Pyro and I'm like, hey, I see a medical beacon, let's play over there, and some guy in a fucking Redeemer comes along and fucks me up because I was a dumbass and didn't bother scanning around or anything here. Yeah, I was just right over there. I'm here to help you. Blam! Sniper gets me. Hey, that's on me. I was a fucking idiot there. But
Right.
at the same
Well,
point, it shouldn't be that, hey, I'm trying to leave my fucking landing zone and some guy's sitting there in a gunship just waiting to fuck my day up. Like, no, that's ridiculous.
yeah. Well, I mean, they've
At
talked
least in
about
most landing zones.
for Pyro, they've talked about that what they want is that essentially, yes, it is a quote unquote lawless environment, but you do have those gangs who are essentially vying for who's got the overall control.
Kind of
And
like the mafia, like
if
they're trying to get that like organized control of the
yeah,
system.
and if you're just that asshole that's just going around and killing people, they're gonna even the locals are gonna be like, hey, dude, we don't want your shit around here because
Yeah,
you're
you're
actually
bad for
attracting
business.
attention. Yeah, you're bad for our business. And I think that'll be kind of the gameplay that's gonna help moderate those trolls. Like I think you'll start to see those trolls more and more being grouped together, and then even the AI is against them constantly. They're going to be like, "Fuck, man, what am I doing wrong?" And a couple of them might be smart enough to realize, "Oh, hey, I've been an asshole, and I need to stop."
And
The
then
rest of them,
most of them probably
hey,
won't be.
the AI is just going to sit there and be like, "Oh, hey, you logged on. It's time for us to kill you."
Hmm.
You know?
Honestly, I would love that kind of shit. To where if you have some players who they're just playing as fucking murder hobos, I'm gonna fucking kill and loot every fucking moving thing I see. That even the NPCs are no longer. Even the criminals are gonna be like, "Whoa, hey, get the fuck away from me! You're bad for business." And it's only the guys who are too wasted or too evil criminal whatever to care that they're dealing with someone who's gonna be bringing heat down with them. They're like, "Oh yeah, I'll throw some missions your way, or I'll interact with you." But that all of the organizations, hey, the Ninetales gang is going to be like, "Hey, get the fuck away from us! You aren't
Yeah.
welcome here. You're ruining our business. You're killing our people. We can't be having that."
Yeah. So guess what, buddy? No fuel. Good
Really,
luck getting
just
across
if they
Pyro.
have any in-game system, whether it's AI or not, to deter players from doing this, that would be great. And this, I like this idea.
The other side of the equation that we don't have is the end game systems of control based on AI that will go after players who are acting badly. I mean, in the game right now, you have forces that react to you, but because the servers are so laggy and behind, it's very rare that the NPC will spawn in a place where you're at. I remember, was it in 313? Right at the end of 313, we're messing around and I accidentally bumped somebody on a pad at PO, and
Yeah.
UEE sent a hammerhead after me and blew me up.
Yep.
So
that sounds like CIG.
So once those systems get put in the game where you not only have player bounty or bounty hunters coming after you, but you constantly have streams of AI coming after and harassing you, then that'll be a much better control system.
Yeah.
True. And there will be a difference too between hey, if you're in Pyro, as long as you aren't near the populated areas, you can be as murder hobo as you want. But then you get near the stations there, hey, they're not going to welcome you, or maybe you have to sneak in or something because they're like, hey, look, you're bad for business. I definitely would like seeing that, because like you can play how you want, but there are consequences, and severe ones at that, if you keep playing like a fucking asshole.
Well, they've already said that Ninetales will like deny you access to their stations if you're bad enough. And you look at Pyro, there's only a couple of gas stations there, man. You need every gas station you can possibly use. So if Ninetales tells you no gas,
you might be able to
your circle of influence just shrank down to a tiny little dot.
It's like unless you've got a ship, like you're flying around a 100i with its fuel recovery system there. But even then, it's like, hey, you're stuck now using
That's just your hydrogen.
It's not going to refuel quantum though.
Oh, no, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, it's one thing that I never really considered was like fuel. In Crusader or Stanton, it's not that big a deal because you can pretty much get
Yeah.
from anywhere to Grim Hex. But in a larger system, and especially if the player gets a reputation that sticks to them, so if they put up a beacon, you can look and see the reputation, hey, this guy's a criminal. Then if you're on a fuel out in the middle of nowhere, you're probably just going to die out there unless another criminal or somebody's willing to risk the trip of coming to try to help you.
And
Yeah.
you just raised a really good point. So you've got a rep. You throw up a beacon, a request for fuel. I would not be opposed to there being a system where people can comment on it, i.e., like the AI, the Ninetales could be like, if you respond to this code, you fulfill this contract, you'll be against us as well.
Yeah.
Because that's another way of limiting those jackasses from being able to get
Well, I mean,
fuel.
not even that too, but even let's say, for example, that not even that, because like they might not even realize, if you're outside of comm range and the Ninetales are going to be operating outside of normal comm buoys here, they might not know that you were able to rendezvous with them. But if I'm a bad actor and I put out medical beacons to ambush people, there should be a system to essentially say, hey, by the way, as a requestee, their rep is terrible because they keep going and ambushing people. And so, sure, they got me once, but I gave them a lowest rep possible. Hey, and if I can add comments, hey, this guy this guy's buddies ambushed
honey
me.
trap.
I tried to yeah. And you get enough of those, and it's like, hey, look, no one's going to come to your rescue because they're going, hey, look, we're gonna get ambushed. We can see that right here on your fucking dossier. No
It's
fucking
not
way.
that you don't have stars; you've got negative stars.
Yeah, it's like, I don't care that you're offering $5 million for me to go and rescue you. I don't trust you to fulfill your end of it.
Yeah.
So the
I
only
agree.
concern that I have with player feedback on reputation is that it can be easily abused. I would much rather, in the short term, just if someone is a criminal and they put up a beacon, then it is noted that they have a crime stat and it's whatever high.
Yeah, that'd be fair.
And just list like why they have the crime stat. If it's murder or assault or whatever the game sees it as. That way you can make a much more informed decision about whether you're going to
But
go.
Data, I'm a repeated medical
Offender.
gurney killer by accident, man. It's not my fault.
Well, I mean, that's fine. Someone may choose to help you, but if people keep dying around you, that's a red flag.
Yeah, good point. No, I was just thinking it'd be interesting if when a player puts out a request, maybe not player interactability, but say that bad actor has enough of a bad reputation that the Ninetales is against them. If they put out a contract while in the Ninetales zone, maybe the AI has the ability to at least like add a message to the contract or put an alert out that says anyone who responds to this, because then it's the AI that's doing the judging and not the players. So therefore it's not manipulated. Like you were talking about, data that can be done, and I agree with what you're saying. But if it's through the AI system, then at least you have a player who doesn't quite know everything, but he has an alert. He's looking at his listing and he's gone, oh, Joe Bob wants me to come pick him up. Oh, wait, the Ninetales just said if I go pick him up, then I can't use their gas stations either. Yeah. Like that might help reinforce the process is all I was getting.
Possibly, but my biggest concern is just letting the people who are looking at the contract know whether or not there's a high probability of them getting attacked because the person putting something up has a crime stat.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to punish somebody because they decide to go help them. And also, another point that I just thought about is that anytime you pull up the Mobiglass, your location is pinged on the map for anybody who's looking for bounties.
Yeah.
So if you that's the way it works. If you're in unmonitored space and you even pull up your Mobiglass, then anybody who's bounty hunter that has your contract will get a marker on the map saying last location.
Yeah, because essentially like you're
That's fucked up.
It's not.
No, it makes sense.
No, it's like it's like you're going on the internet.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
your digital
to
footprint.
say that I can't have a way of spoofing that, or an
Well,
alternate
there probably
account,
will
or
be eventually.
Okay.
There probably
Yeah,
will be
but
eventually.
just for now, that's the way that
okay,
people who have bounties can track someone in unmonitored space. If they're dumb enough to get on their mobiGlass, then it's not going to give you a live update of where they are. It's just this is the last time that the system recognized
Okay.
that person in this spot. So if an AI bounty hunters, if hopefully they're a thing, then if someone puts up a beacon, then they just access the comm relay
Yeah.
system. So AI bounty hunters will say, "Hey, look, let's go over there because we just found this guy we've been looking for." So
Well,
that would mean that you can set up a trap, but what you pull into that trap might not be what you want.
one thing too would be that let's say back with the example of like Ninetales. Let's say if I really pissed off Ninetales, or let's say that I'm in I'm in Stanton and I'm a criminal here, and I go and I put out, hey, I need medical rescue here. And it might depend on what kind of rep you've got. So for example, if let's say Pyro guy pisses off Ninetales, he goes down, he calls for medical rescue. If I'm a criminal and I'm in decently good with Ninetales, so the guy puts out a distress beacon for rescue. Ninetales goes and reaches out to me because I'm decently friendly with him, and they go, hey, we just saw this guy put out a beacon. We hate this guy's fucking guts. Tell you what, you bring him to us. You go and you capture him, or hey, if you go and just knock him off, you just go over there and kill him, we'll pay you this much money. Same on the flip side. Same with like, hey, you're some major criminal here with the UEE, and you put out a medical beacon in Stanton. Advocacy goes, hey, we just saw this beacon pop up. You're a well-known bounty hunter and you're in good with us. Can you go over and capture this guy for us so we can bring him to justice?
Yeah, that's gameplay.
Yeah, I
And
imagine
it's
that's
like,
how
then you have a choice.
I imagine that's how the bounty system is going to work in Pyro anyway. You're not going to have police in the sense that they're lawful, but you're going to have the different groups. They're still going to have their influence zones, and if you get on their bad side, then they're going to offer contracts on people's heads the same way that security would for bounties in lawful space.
Yeah, that makes sense. Absolutely. I'm down for it too, because that's the gameplay, Anyway, you can
It's offering
you can,
choice. Do
Yeah.
you want to help with this? Maybe this guy's your buddy. Like, nah, I'm not going to turn him in. This guy actually is my buddy. I'm actually going to help him, even though they are a major asshole. But alternatively, it's like, hey, like I said, you're a bounty hunter. Hey, we saw this beacon just go live. Can you go and capture this guy for us before one of his buddies actually gets to him? And then alternatively too, there should be options then of calling for assistance outside of just the standard beacon. So I can be like, let's say I'm a bounty hunter, I'm a goody two shoes kind of player in Pyro, and I go down, and I'm like, oh shit, I need help. I don't want to put out a beacon. Ninetales is going to be on my ass faster than you can say gotcha. Same if I'm a criminal in Stanton.
Well, I think that's
I don't
where
want to put out a beacon.
what clubs you belong to give you
Yeah.
ability to call back and be like, hey, Acme bounty hunters out of Crusader. I need 2 guys as quick as you can out here to help me out.
Yeah, exactly.
Another possible solution to that would be to separate beacons based on whether you're a criminal or not. So
Or just
criminals,
reputation in general.
Yeah, so if you have a low reputation or you're considered a criminal, then people who are lawful will not see any of your beacons.
Well, they're already
and
doing that
vice
with the
versa.
medical.
Yeah.
Are
yeah.
they?
If you have a crime stat, you don't see the medical beacons.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot because that also one of my major issues with this initial setup of it was that if someone went and killed you, and then you put in a medical beacon, they can accept your medical beacon. You're never getting rescued.
Yeah. I still really hope that they make the medical beacons persistent until the person is rescued. So anybody can
open.
accept it.
They should
and
make
just
them open so
Yeah,
that
and
it's
then
not one
whoever-
person accepts and it's gone. It is up until someone gets to you. That mission is open and available.
Right. So whoever gets there first and rests them gets the reward. That
Yes.
way, you don't just get this one guy who accidentally accepts it and then forgets or disconnects or crashes or whatever. There's always the
Yeah,
chance
no,
that someone
absolutely.
could come through.
Absolutely. And then also too, what's really helpful with that is that, and once we get probably like the star map update and stuff, that'll help. But it's like, let's say the guy who accepts is on the other side of the system versus, hey, there's a guy who's, in the orbital station when I'm on the planet here, it's going to take him all 3 minutes to get to me here. That's
Yeah.
far better for him to go, hey, I could use someone. Oh, hey, someone's calling for medical rescue. And they're only fucking 150 kilometers away. All right, let me get my way over there.
One of the nice features that they added in 3.15.1 is that when someone accepts your beacon, you now have a distance tracker for
Yep.
them on
Okay.
your HUD when you're in your downstate, so you can tell how far away they are.
That is good. Well, that covers everything that was in SC Live.
Everything?
Yep, it down to every period and I dotted T crossed.
All right, now everyone file
but
your
yeah.
TPS reports by Monday, and
in triplicate.
of course.
That was a good talk. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So,
Anybody buying anything this
well, we should
sale
talk
period?
about that. Well, before we get into that,
I got about 5 to 6 minutes left before I gotta go though.
All right. Well, just quick. It is the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo 2951, so it's the 2021 sales event at RSI on the website, so you can buy ships to help the funding Star Citizen, and so a lot of ships are on sale that normally aren't on sale. And when I say on sale, I don't mean the reduced price. I mean like they're available for purchase.
It is false scarcity, but at the same point,
like they're actually available, like on sale to purchase now, versus usually they're not. And each day they're adding new ships. Supposedly, I heard a report there's a new ship coming. Like there's few new ships coming soon, so we shouldn't. That haven't been
more than what's already been revealed. You mean?
Yeah, exactly. That hasn't been revealed yet, so we should
That'd be interesting.
don't waste our money. Is essentially what it was. Data just dropped out.
Yeah,
all right. Yeah, I missed that.
I definitely do want to see a lot more broad options inside of utility ships, because it's like we've got all kinds of like cargo ships, for example. At every size, you generally have multiple options here for cargo running. As it is, just because honestly, right now, especially, cargo is easy to do and make ships for. But I would love to see things like, hey, what is MISC's entry as a beginner salvage ship or mining ship, repair ship.
Well, the mining ship
etc.
is the prospector.
Oh yeah, but or what's Drake's entry level mining ship? That kind of stuff.
Right.
I want to see more options. Just
generically speaking,
reality,
more variety of those different.
Yeah, essentially, having classes of ships from different same class, same type of ship from different manufacturers, seeing each of their takes on that same type of ship and how they differ and how their values and stats are different and how it feels different. Obviously, how it'll look different.
Eventually, we'll get a coffee machine in one of the mining ships.
Yeah, right. I know the freelancer has one, so it just doesn't work, but it has one.
But it's not a mining ship, though.
No.
Miner 49er.
Go Niners.
Oh gosh, I'm trying to dock a hammerhead for the first time.
Good luck with that. Supposedly, we still have 2 unannounced ships that are going to be for sale. Shortly.
That's the thing. And also we got the Spartan APC, finally an APC.
A lot of wasted space, in my opinion.
Yes.
There's so much wasted space, and it only really fits on one ship right now, which is
the Hercules.
Which is the Hercules.
Well, I heard one of the reasons why we're seeing so much wasted space is because they finally realized that if they want AI to be able to interact with these ships, they have to have certain size limitations of the empty space for them to be able to navigate.
Oh,
Which
so
is
it's for the AI
unfortunate, but-
pathing.
Yeah. So, like,
AI
because one of the
mapping.
things they talked about recently was that they want AI to be able to like self-navigate across surfaces. So, in other words, the AI to be able to run across the ground,
Mm-hmm.
but that also means the AI needs to be able to run into the Spartan and
Yeah.
navigate to his seat. And apparently, there's certain size requirements for the amount of space the AI needs to be able to navigate to that seat.
Well, that makes me wonder though. Obviously, we're going to need a rework of the Ursa for several reasons.
Yes.
One, I believe it does not necessarily actually fit for SCU physically in its cargo hold, even if you had the seats folded
Yeah,
up here.
I don't think that would fit for maybe 3, like in
Yeah,
line, maybe.
Yeah, but it's pretty pretty
Yeah.
beefy there.
Yep.
And then of course the cockpit is very much squished and all that kind of shit. So it's just kind of like, how is this going to really work here?
Yeah.
So it's pretty obvious you're going to have to rework that. I'm just hoping that when they do, it doesn't suddenly change what it was, and that they've been saying, oh, it's supposed to be this all-around exploration rover, which is why it comes with like the Aquila and such.
But now
and
it's a
that
monster truck, 12
Well,
feet
well,
tall,
exactly.
37 feet
Exactly.
wide.
Or if they're like, oh, hey, it now only holds 2 people instead of the fits it could before, something like that. I don't want to see it vastly change in terms of
So you don't want it to
what
be
it's
a
supposed to do.
6-wheeled Cyclone?
No,
No, I'm with you.
just
But as I was saying, I believe there's still 2 ships that we're gonna see announced later on. I believe one's gonna be the Argo and one's gonna be a Misk, if I'm not.
well, there's the Argo Raft and the Misk Odyssey, which we already know.
Yeah. Yeah. And apparently the Odyssey is going to be the kind of like in between ship between the Hull C and the Argo as far as moving your cargo boxes like to and from the Hull C to the stations and possibly down to planet side.
You know
So
what it sounded like? It sounded like they wanted the Odyssey to be a carrot competitor, just instead of a cargo / exploration, it's cargo / mining or something along those lines.
I guess I'm thinking of the Raft.
Yeah,
The Raft is
the
supposed to be
Odyssey is
the
Misk, which and
yeah.
it's slightly bigger than the Carrack, I believe.
Well, I think what they're
It's pretty
saying
big.
is it's gonna that the Odyssey is basically going to be a drilling ship. For
Yeah,
anyone
which
who's
makes
not
sense.
familiar with that, is basically, think of like a super tanker with a big giant oil well stacked on top of it, and what it does is it essentially goes out into the ocean, finds an empty spot, drills down, and goes, "Is there anything here?" And if there is, then they mark it, and then they bring in the actual, the oil well, and plop it on top of that spot and start pumping the oil. And meanwhile,
Well.
yeah, meanwhile the oil or the can't think of the words right now. The ship that found it, it continues on looking for other things. And my understanding is that's what they want the Odyssey to be. So
I like that they want to have ships that work in tandem with other ships.
yeah, I agree.
And that's like, oh, it does everything. Like, no, I want them to be role specific so that it encourages players
Well, I mean,
to work together.
Jackal trade ships are fine, just they should not be as effective.
Well, I mean, like, every ship shouldn't be.
Renegade.
Like, yes, some
Yeah.
ships should be able to do everything, some ships shouldn't, and yeah, you just gotta have, again, that's all back to that variety with your ships.
Yep.
And gear, and so on.
So are you guys going to be buying anything?
If I had money, I would.
Right now, not at all.
Yeah.
I am not impressed with the Spartan. Just too much wasted space. Doesn't fit.
If I get it, I'm getting it in game, because, yeah, it's... when I first heard about the Spartan, I didn't think it was going to be an APC. I thought it was going to be like a cargo thing, and then I heard, yeah, APC, great. This isn't what I expected when I expected an
want
APC.
more Ursa rover-sized vehicles.
Exactly,
not
exactly.
super huge.
Yeah, so Cam and I have been essentially just bitching to each other about what we want in a Star Citizen APC for the last, 2 years now?
Well, unfortunately, I got to bail out on you guys on that note. I would like to talk about it more, but I do got to
No.
go today. So,
No,
Alright.
but had
you're not going
fun,
anywhere.
good conversation.
Yep.
Try and stop me. And I will see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Don't die.
Drive fast,
He's
take
dead.
chances.
That too.
Yeah.
I love this new inventory system to where I literally cannot put on an undersuit right now. Because hey,
At least you have inventory. When I'm at Everest Harbor or Lorville, anytime I purchase something, it just vanishes into the void, and I lose money because I can't access the inventory I just purchased.
You know, like right now, I'm sure what I need is to find a medical gown, and of course, I'm on the one server that has 0 medical gowns on the floor. Plus, I was trying to do. Oh, by the way, hey Mano, you want to join the server I'm in and finish the 890 mission for me?
Yeah, yeah.
But I can't get back over because I went over to on the bar level, and then where
Mhm.
there's that door to like the conference room, the clear door,
Right.
where there's usually like 2 or 3 enemies. I was standing there waiting for the door to open, and then the door just glitched and was gone. And then we just went, "Oop, you're dead." And I'm like, what the fuck? And I lost all my gear. And I can't get back over there because I have to EVA, and I can't EVA because I can't put on a goddamn suit! Like, fuck's sake. And I don't want to just kill myself because then I'm like 90% certain I'm going to lose my beacon for the mission here.
You're in luck. Your server has space.
Huzzah.
I should. Where are you? Microtech or Arcor?
Microtech. But I'll just see if I can share the mission to you, so at least that would.
Well, I'm
save
loading in
notification
right
on
now,
when
so
you commit
don't do it
suicide.
yet.
Because I'm pretty sure once I commit suicide and it respawns me and actually throws the medical gown on me, and I'm sure it was some fucked up interaction with the medical gown and unequipping it, and it's like, oh, it's equipped, but it's not, and so I can't equip anything over it.
Right. And Victor is in the chat saying, "Ayo."
Ayo bayo? Onomatopoeia?
Alright, the second I load in, I will put the game on the screen so that we can go. Maybe after I save, I pull your butt out of the fire, we can go to the expo and show it off to the nice people watching.
But it's Alien Day. There's nothing interesting there.
That's probably what everyone in the chat is going to enjoy most out of anything else.
The alien ships? Come on.
Yeah, to us it's mundane, but to them it ain't.
Yeah. Fine. Once I get the payout for this mission, because I need fucking money.
I know, I need money too.
I've been trying to get into mining a bit just to see if that would help fill the coffers, but as it is, it's slow going.
Hmm.
I did buy a what was it, the Lancet head for my
Which one's that?
I bought the Lancet head for my prospector. So we'll see if that helps.
I'm currently wearing the new Pembroke armor.
Yeah.
With the matching helmet.
Wait, are you talking like the subscriber version or just the new base?
Excuse me. No, the base one that you can buy at a refinery. And it's really cool because you get to see inside the
I
helmet.
did shell out for the subscriber version of it, just so I always had, because I'm like, I've already got a cold suit here. Might as well get myself a heat suit.
Yeah, and they're
Because
expensive in game, and oh my frame rate's kind of fucking right now. Stream.
Where are you at?
Hurston L2.
Okay, I sent you a pretty much.
Okay. It's
Did you ever finally get an SSD?
I'm using an SSD. You helped me install
Okay.
it.
Just making sure.
An SSD's not the problem. I think just because I'm streaming and playing right now.
Yeah, there's that.
Oh, he's streaming to
sharing-
YouTube. Twitch is a lot better.
Sharing the mission now.
Okay, got it.
What's
By the
actually
way, I
interesting is
stripped
I-
all of my rentals.
Huh? Yeah, but you can't use them once the time runs out.
Yeah, I
They just take
can.
up space. Can you?
I
There's a
mean, they're
couple
on
of
my
others
cut
that
list.
I
They're
just
on
said
my
nope.
cut list right now.
But yeah, but if you try to, if I try to retrieve one of them that where the rental time is expired, it goes nope.
I mean, I used one earlier today.
Mm. Anyway, you get the mission.
Yeah, I'm heading to you.
Do you have the waypoint marker for it?
So, marker
the
for
important
you. I do not have a marker for the mission. Let me check the Mobi-Glass though.
Yeah, it should. It
I
should
have
be-
the marker for the mission.
should be showing distress
Think?
beacon.
Are you still at
Right.
the location?
I am at Port Trustor because I fucking died.
Then I don't have them. Oh, I do. Okay, I see it. Distress beacon.
Okay. And it does it say the last down position of us in danger? Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, it's 14 out of 20.
Okay. Let me go and commit suicide now. Oh, by the way, I did find a good thing you can do as it is, and they'll probably change this up down the line, but if you were to go and unequip everything from your character and commit suicide, you'll
Yeah, and then
get
just
a
respawn.
new Horizon suit every time. So
Oh,
just
okay.
use
That
stockpile.
explains why. F2. I also have,
It'll stockpile.
oh, that's nothing. I was not getting undersuits when I died at Everest Harbor, so that was fun.
Nice. Yeah, there's definitely some fucking.
Yeah,
bugs
I'm just
now.
all
Like,
these bugs I'm having
deal
are
with that.
specific to Everest Harbor too.
I mean, part of it, and I do have to sometimes kind of step back and remind myself, this is not a playable game.
No, it is an
This
alpha,
is
but it's like
a alpha.
yeah, and
Despite
we
the
are
fact
literally
that you
we are
can
play
it,
testers.
It's still
but
an alpha.
yeah,
Like,
we're
sometimes, you know, and I'm like, I've died for the umpteenth time running over some stairs or some shit and going, it is an alpha still.
that's
It's tricking you into thinking it's a full game, but it's not.
that's the thing. We are still just alpha testers here, and we got to remember that.
Yep.
That's real question is this the backpack that has all the shit in it?
No.
I
will
preloaded
say-
a backpack so that I have gear and I'm ready to go.
I really wish it was easier to make loadouts. Like, it's like I want to be able to say, like, for this backpack, I want to have X, Y, and Z in it, and be able to be like, well, hey, if I just bought an empty backpack, I want to be able to, if I have loose inventory, you know, med pens, ammo, whatever the fuck, you know, grenades, flares, whatever, I want to be able to say, hey, go and stock this backpack up with ABC, XYD, and these values. And it will just go boop, and put any loose items that it can into. How the fuck did I? Oh, god damn it. Of course it spawned me back on Microtech. And
Yeah,
I'm
because the
at goddamn
hospital's
station.
there.
Oh. God.
By the way, is performance at Microtech awful for you?
Not especially. It was last patch, I know. Let's see what I'm
Because
getting here.
it's been the worst location for me this patch.
I'm getting 20 FPS right now, standing in the Aspire Grand, which, you know, not great, but not terrible. But just I cannot wait for them to make the inventory and medical system a lot more robust, so that it is less of a chore.
Mm.
Because as it is, yeah. I will say though, I really like the new heavy armor that they made.
The one that had like
Yeah,
padding
it
looking,
was-
that's padded looking instead
Yeah, it
of.
looks like a fucking like EOD bomb suit kind of shit.
Yeah.
Just very nice look, and I like too that they kind of just snuck it in there. Yeah, that wasn't a big thing, especially too when we've seen with like the Arrow Gray Cat armor, all this stuff where it was, you know, buy it with real cash, and then that way, you know, hey, we are getting some armors that are not just cash, but in game. It's been a while before that since we've gotten some new armors and shit.
Mm-hmm.
We've gotten both a light version and a heavy version. I wonder if there's a medium version of this.
I hope so. I want to mix
This
and
light
match
version was the
those.
stuff we got for SitCon. Also, I believe the back. So you know how you could get the like blue and gray version of the SitCon armor
Mm-hmm.
in ArtCorp. I believe they finally have the backpack for that in now because I saw someone wearing that earlier.
Oh, nice.
So that is nice. I don't know where you get it, but. Definitely can't wait until we have space Amazons where it's like, oh, you want to buy this item that's you can only get way over here, or you can buy it, but it's going to cost you 1.5 times to have it delivered to you. Okay, gimme. Because that'll make it a hell of a lot easier to stockpile a fucking warehouse.
Or buy something and have it delivered to a location you're not at. Like, oh, I want it delivered to my
exactly.
home. Yeah.
Yeah, or yeah, if like, hey, I'm far from home and I just got myself fucking capped and my corpse was looted here. Okay, hey, let me go and you know, from my warehouse where I've got all my shit stored, let me go and have a new set delivered to me here. Where I'd love to have it to where it's like I've got a store all box that is filled with my normal, you know, it's like my standard unsuit, my standard armor, all of the stuff I normally have in my pockets, and all my standard weapons, all that shit in a singular box, and then just I've got those boxes ready to go. Whether I put one on my ship, I put one on a station I'm operating out of, so that I've got that ready to go where I can say, hey, deliver this box to X location for me. So that when I get there, or if I just need, you know, my backup gear, it's there waiting for me.
No, the audio's not missing. At least from the game, it's not. I have it set where every time I leave the window, it change it. The audio from the game isn't playing, so this way I can hear people if something is super loud. I did that when we were mining. Data and I were, because he has very, very loud electronic vacuum cleaner mining head. I think the Lancets. So it's just like Just realized there's an easier way to unmute the game, like to mute the game, just so I can hear him talk real quick. Hey! They fixed it! My hand is on the right part of the ship now. My left hand is now on the throttle and not, like, behind the chair.
I did not hear a word you just said. Mando?
Yeah.
I did not hear a word you said.
Yeah, I heard that. I think,
by the way,
yeah.
when you do get to the 890 here, the entryway, at least when I went down, entryway was clear. So you know the initial
Damn it.
floor you
Hold on.
that whole area was clear, save for the bar area.
Say again, because I just had a freaking cold call. Yeah.
So when I went through the 890, so for the 890 jump mission here, because it's still going to be a hot minute before I get over there again. But it was clear except for the bar area in that initial section. So the hangar floor where the med bay and garage are, those are both still hostile. And that bar area is still hostile, so there might be multiple hostiles in the initial area here. So, you know, they could be running around, but there should only be like 2 or 3 at most.
I will endeavor to be careful. Am I picking you up first, or am I just going there to finish it? By the way, new clouds on Microtech. So good. So here's a problem. I never had the marker for it, and now it is gone. Oh no, never mind. Just showed up on radar.
You know, there are times I wonder if I spoil my cat.
Oh, I wonder all the time because I think I do.
Such as when I'm cleaning his electric water fountain.
You have one of the electric water fountains? I had to talk myself out of that.
And then I think, no, it can't possibly be spoiling him, right?
Do you know why? Do you know why I never ended up getting that for my cat? I knew it'd be like, oh, okay, I get this for it, and it's like a week later. Why aren't you using this thing? I just.
Well, my guy, when I got him originally, he was drinking water out of sinks. Like he would be sitting in the sink.
Yeah. Eddie used to do that. I was thinking of getting it for him.
And I was like, oh, he wants flowing water.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So I got him a fountain, and since then, no issue. or I should say, since then, he has no longer been sitting in the sink drinking water.
I would say
So-
yeah, because like I had to do this for when Eddie before he passed away. I had to obviously very freaky if I had a necromancer cat or something. But he
Meow?
would just sit on the sink and then just meow until I turned the faucet off.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going in under equipped, but you know what? All the gear I'm wearing was looted at a cave earlier. I just went in practically as naked as I could be in Aberdeen's atmosphere. And I looted backpacks off the guys, then I put some helmets and undersuits in the backpack, and then I just make some return trips to the ship.
I hope they start making arm, leg, and
Being able to fit in
torso
backpacks.
armor as lootables. You know, not just on NPCs, but actually in containers and backpacks. Like, we need the ability to find a backpack so that I can loot. You know, so it's like because like I went the other day. This was yesterday, I think. Some guy called for a medical rescue. So I was like, okay, let me go. And I've been doing some prospector mining, and so I was like, okay, I'm gonna be smart, just in case that this goes fucking sideways here. I'm out mining with just the Horizon flight suit and helmet with a pistol. I have my arc-like pistol with one mag on it, and my medical tool. And then I've got like two med pens. So you know, that's my bare bones basic. I'm just heading out. I don't care if I lose this shit.
Right, right.
Cost me all like 5K to replace everything, so not that much. But so anyway, so this guy called in and he's like, yeah, and there's hostiles around. I'm like, oh shit. Okay, I'm gonna try to do this anyway. Thankfully there were no guards alive, so that definitely helped because that meant I did not get a crime stat. So thank goodness for that. But I go in there and it was on Hurston, and I was like, hey, you know, I found the guy. By the way, too, I've heard from him that if you drag someone, so you know, person calls for medical support. If you drag their body just a little bit, so it updates the position of it, then there's a much less likely chance of their body then going and clipping through the ground. Because sometimes what will happen is you go to revive them and they just go into the ground. And it's like, oh well, that sucks for you. So yeah.
Okay, they're shooting through the fucking walls.
Language. But anyway, so yeah, I went and revived him. Then went and looted some heavy armor from one of the Hurston guards.
One of
I
these
was
guards
wearing
was
that
just
up
rubber
until,
banding like fucking crazy. Pardon my French, but just a little insane.
Yeah, desync has been pretty fucking bad lately.
Hey, they fixed the iron sights on the SC-SMG though, so that's good.
Have they?
Yeah, they're not floating anymore. They're actually there and usable.
Are they?
No, I'm just making this up.
I knew it.
Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna leave that. I'm gonna get him with a grenade or something here because there's no way I'm getting alive and moving.
Then we are getting what?
The guy is essentially moving, like he's rubber banding back and just running in the same position over and over and over.
Yeah, generally when I've found when that happens with NPCs, I've generally found that there's a spot that, you know, somewhere in their path where if you shoot them, it will actually go and take them down.
I don't want their second life
Those-
suit, but I will take the chicken helmet. Chicken hat. Can I even fit the undersuit?
Bakak?
I just stripped the guy's helmet.
You're so mean.
I want his chicken suit. That Victor says, my baby is currently sleeping under the Christmas tree because cats. Yep. Mine is snoring somewhere behind me. Mike thinks
Mine is
lazy.
checking out his newly cleaned fountain after I just ran it through the dishwasher.
Hooray. Alright. Wait, is he still alive or is he just dying like it's an Old West? Okay, he's still alive. He was running at me. I'm like, okay, no, that's still alive.
He's mostly dead, but that's partially alive.
No, and they're all dead. There's only one thing to do. Go through their
all
pockets and
dead?
look for loose change.
Hell yeah.
Any, like, magazines or anything? These guys don't have any, like, loose stuff on their, like, any, equipment or anything. Of their armor, right?
Those bastards.
But these guys... Well, good thing I have the, tractor beam. I can all these bodies.
Oh, motherfucker, it's still not letting me put on flight suit.
Well, if you want, I'm gonna bring a lot of these corpses with me so that, I have gear.
Well, because I literally cannot put on another suit. I guarantee what it's going to take is for me to go and quit to main menu and rejoin. Because like, this is bullshit.
I really wish I could strip the
I've
mags.
essentially been stopped from doing 90% of missions simply because the game is like, nah, bro, get fucked. Just incredibly fucking frustrating because it's literally locking me out of this simply because the game decides to be bitchy at me. Did the mission ever get completed or?
No, I'm still doing it.
Okay. Also, too, there's pretty much no way to do the stop the data hack. There's pretty much no way to do that.
No. I do know that it's mostly on the bridge this time around. But it's not on the bridge this time.
Both times I've actually gotten there, and I checked the bridge, and like, oh, maybe it's on the bridge, and both times it's not been there for me, so maybe I'm just unlucky.
I remember checking every other room, and except for the bridge, in the allotted time, and then I'm like, oh, it was on the bridge. I hate when it's on the bridge because it's just the hardest place to get to without getting killed.
Is it?
I have now avenged you. Where's your corpse?
So it's in the bar area.
Oh wait, this is your corpse. I just shot you in the butt.
Yeah, Hurston heavy armor.
Mm-hmm.
Hell,
Alright.
if you want to just grab all the gear off there.
I got your whole body with me right now.
Yeah.
I brought myself a tractor beam, so.
I actually do see you right on top of my corpse marker. That's funny.
I'm not on top of your corpse, you so.
That's what they all say.
Your corpse is spinning in front of me, doing dances and what have you.
Go on.
Well, he's flying, and now I'm just I'm slamming him against. I just slammed him and killed him again.
Oh, I mean, it's not like I was really using that body anyway.
Hmm.
Or was I?
Go. Got it.
I found a whole pile of ammo someone dropped.
That's okay. Oh yeah, it's probably gonna be empty mags.
Oh yeah, probably. I'm looking at them and yeah, they're all like empty. I got like 3 out of 5 or some shit. Yeah, let me know when the mission is done, and I'll just quit the main menu and then join off you, and then we can
Okay.
jump and I can strip my corpse of my stuff.
Yeah, I'll head to Tressler and
That'll work as long as it doesn't fucking despawn my fucking body. I've had that shit happen. I'm just
well,
like,
you know what? You know
fuck?
what? How about this? Well, why don't I put the gear on my ship? I can fly back there. Alright. What I should be able to do... Ooh, nope. This... As I thought, I can just drag all your stuff onto my ship. Alright, all your stuff is now on my ship. Hey! You're not Indian like everyone else is. Oh, you did a character reset though, didn't you? Cam? Hello? Still there? Oh, I guess we got disconnected.
Or something. I heard you drop out of the comm channel.
Right. I was saying, hey, you're not Indian like everyone else is.
Correct. I did a character reset.
Okay. All your gear is on my ship, by the way.
Excellent. Yeah, just let me know then when the mission is completed, and then at that point I will.
Right, because you're not going to get
you
paid otherwise.
and,
I got 5 guys left. One of them is G.
I mean, feel free to use some of the P8 ammo, or just grab some of their guns and just.
That's what I've been doing. I fell on my face.
Oh, don't. You gotta be careful. You're living up for both of us.
Right, all the guns I have are now. Whenever I stole them, they come back with 0 ammo somehow.
Ugh.
At least, like, from the guns that I
Probably-
looted.
It's probably just not stowing the magazine with them. Also, it looks like every single vehicle that I have has been duplicated in the lists.
God, this is so fucking frustrating.
What's going on?
I'm trying to get the
Baggage.
backpack. I'm trying to take the weapon off the backpack, and it wouldn't select, so I just took the backpack off and put the backpack on.
Oh, by the way, I found out the other yesterday. If you do manage to get, you know, you can have. I'm pretty sure it's a glitch right now, but you can have sometimes get it so that you can have 2 weapons equipped on your back. And
Yeah, no, I literally just had that, so.
Yeah. If you keep on hitting 2 to cycle through them, you'll cycle through all 4 weapons.
Yep.
Which is nice, but
It is a glitch, and we should not get used.
yeah, right. Well, they'll take out the fun glitches.
Yeah. By the way, do we have anything else to say regarding IAE? Like, should we talk about like how IAE's been so far?
I mean, honestly, nothing super special.
I mean, to be fair though, I will say this: the event itself, like the in-game event, is definitely much better than previous. Like visually, I love it.
There haven't been any major issues for it, so it's gone smoothly. So
Yeah.
far, I would
Well,
say.
aside from the performance dips, but it's a free fly.
Yeah,
That's gonna
yeah,
and
that
there's
always
so many
happens.
players, so that's really dependent on the server. Like how many players are around Microtech at the time. That's gonna kill your performance.
Yeah.
That aside, like the actual event itself looks beautiful. I guess we can go to that later. Like he finally stopped running around like crazy. You know what? I'm thinking, why don't we end this the episode here and then just start a new live stream where we oh. Which one of us disconnected this time? Yeah. Ooh. Which one of us disconnected this time?
I have no idea.
Alright, I was gonna say, why don't we end the live stream and start a new one where we just play the game. This way, this live stream isn't like 5 hours long for people watching later.
Yeah.
So, hold on. Alright, so, anyone, I hope you guys enjoyed episode 46, our breakdown of Star Citizen Live and IAE, and 3.15.1, which is live, by the way, and there is a free fly, so we should end it on, there is a free fly. Anyone who has an account on Star Citizen can play the game. To do so, it is pretty simple. All you have to do is, well, if you're watching, then all you really have to do. Why isn't this? While I struggle to get this open.
What I wanted, snuggles. What I got, struggles.
Alright, so if you're watching, all you have to do is obviously go to the description. Links for all 4 of our referral codes are there. Obviously, you got a little tutorial here for actually doing this. You click on the link there. Bam, it'll take you to a account creation page if you haven't already created an account. Obviously, you create an account, you fill in the code. The code's already here as part of the link. And obviously, once you've created the code, in the description as well, you will see a link for the free fly somewhere here. Expo, free fly. This is not the free fly. Where the hell is the free fly link? Is it on the main page? No. Yes, maybe. Oh, no, I think that is the free fly link. So it's
Impossible.
yeah, so obviously it'll tell you about the IAE, and there should be. I could have sworn I put the free fly link in there, but if I did not, I apologize. I'll have to do that later. I have no idea how you do it from here. They didn't have like an actual link this year, I don't think, did they? Or am I just missing it?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, like normally they have a actual like free fly link that like just I haven't seen one
Well,
this
I
year.
know last free fly they had a link. The free fly before that,
But it's usually on the front. Like you go to the home
page.
page and it'll usually tell you something, but it doesn't here.
Yeah.
Go to Comlink usually tells you the most recent news stuff that will. Show something, bunch of lore posts. No, so I think that was the free fly link. Somewhere in that mess, it will be. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess people know how to create an account now, but how do you get to their free fly from here?
Don't ask questions. So on the if you go to just the
Oh,
about
duh. It's right. It's
page-
literally just right here.
Yeah, it's on this the about the expo page, which I linked in our chat here. So it looks like it's codeless, which they've been teasing that. This is the second time now they've had a codeless free fly.
Gotcha. So essentially, yeah, here it is. New to the verse. So it'll end December 1st, which is when we're going to stop doing daily Star Citizen streams. But it's going to create an account, as just showed you how to do. You download the game, which you click here. So you don't need a code like normal. So normally you need a code. You don't need a code here. Just obviously when you're signed in, all these things will be checked off. This will be checked off because it's a free fly. Means this will be checked off, and yeah. So you're gonna download, and that's really about it. And if you're in our Discord server, you can ask us any stupid questions about downloading the game and installing it and all that, and we'll try to be as helpful as we can without being snarky. But no promises.
Speaking of
About the
being
snarkiness.
helpful, is the mission complete yet?
No, because I've been doing this shit. But I will do that now. But anyway, there you go, people. Create an account, get into the.
Until I can quit back to main menu here.
Okay. I'm just telling the people that they can create an account and join the free fly and play Star Citizen now and experience the.
Yes, all two of them that watch our videos.
Yeah, right. Although we get some viewers on the later, like 3 days later. Alright, anyways, that's gonna be it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed, and that's gonna be it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and have a great day. I want to thank Mega J1, Captain Trek, and BK Dan, and Victor Wolfong in the chat for tuning in. Thank anyone for watching afterwards on the rerun. For watching. It means a lot, and catch you later. Alright. So.
Like I am dead in the water.
Until I can finish the mission.
Finish the mission. Something.
I mean, I was dead in the water for an hour, and you didn't hear me complaining. Okay, you heard me complaining a few times, but
Bullshit.
you heard me complaining a lot.
Alright.
He was not there before. Also, are these doors just... Yeah, these doors look like they lead to the void, but they're not. Just... completely... they're just...
a pair of those. I did the PI Wanted mission.
Really?
There was a hallway where the doors were... They looked leading to... I know it was like, why can't I open up this last door? I know I should be able to. And it was, oh, gotta go... And I was like, well, if I gotta go through the hallway, I gotta go through. And I went in and I was like, here, we'll load that up once you're through. Just... You gotta take that leap.
Can I use them as a meat shield?
I mean, you can. It won't be very effective, but... It'd be far better off just going in and spraying bullets. I do laugh. I've done a couple of medical rescue missions, and people are like, just don't hit me. And I'm like, don't worry, I'll just shoot anything that's still fucking vertical here.
Right.
You're horizontal. You'll be fine. The bullets are gonna go right over you.
That's okay. When I was getting rescued by a player once, He literally told me, like, I'll be right there, don't go anywhere. I'm like, really? Also, I guess this pirate is defying gravity.
Probably.
There's 2 left, but I don't know where they are. I've kind of explored everywhere already.
Everywhere, everywhere?
Everywhere, everywhere. Every day.
Even all the side rooms and bullshit? Did you explore the captain's quarters?
No, did they have them in the captain's quarters now?
Well, I don't know. It's possible.
They've never been there before. I didn't check these rooms
I
though.
I would explore the whole ship because I did find that they have been, at least for me, they have been moving around more.
Yeah, but they haven't been able to open doors.
Mm.
Wait, today's the last day you can see the age of stuff, right?
I think so.
Let me do that first. Or just do that. You don't have to do the alien stuff, don't worry. Was there anything cool with the alien, like display-wise, or is it just the same stuff as before? Because all the cool alien shit is not out yet.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just watching you play with corpses.
Or let's see.
Here, tell you what, while you play with the corpses here, I'll quit the main menu, and then if you want to share the mission back with me,
Yeah.
I'd like to earn some money, just I also want to be able to play the game.
Right. No, it's probably better off too, because I don't, like, I have to actually find these guys. I don't know where they.
I'll hold off on killing them until I get back in.
All right. Plus my. Okay, good. I was worried for a second because I didn't have a marker for my ship.
I want you to see.
Screw me. Wow. You know what? I kind of have to.
Have to what?
I'm gonna see how far I can get him, and then I wanted to get him to start falling into the atmosphere. I can use the bodies as a anchor to pull myself. Wait, the vehicle storage is already full? How is that possible?
Don't ask questions.
Well, ask the questions when I've had more shit in here before.
Details, details.
What the fuck? Hey, would I get in trouble for having a security guard corpse in my ship?
I don't think so. Not as long as they don't have the new Hurston armor. The orange version.
Well, I've had the turrets on, the Lorville turrets. Not the Lorville, like the Hurston bunker mission turrets. Shoot at the ship just because they had regular security armor, but that was in the last patch, or before the new armor existed in game. Check upstairs and. I see you got two of them upstairs.
Yes. And I am able to equip a suit again.
Are you?
Yeah, it was what I figured. The character was just glitched when I respawned back in, and
Oh, I should share the mission.
issue. That would be helpful.
There you go.
Do you also want to invite me to the party again? Or
Yeah.
I'm already in the party. Okay.
Oh, we still are?
Yeah.
We got the mission share. Yep, there you are.
Yep. I'll grab a ship and head out there, and then I can grab my gear. One thing I like about with the new inventory system is that if I were to go and if I go to my corpse or a body, because I did the same thing when I first grabbed that Hurston gear, I took off everything, so I'm just in my boxers, and then I dragged the undersuit to my character, and it took all gear with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have to like take off each item and then go and individually equip everything. I didn't have to play around with that shit. Just bloop bloop done. So that was definitely nice.
Just remember, you can't access my ship's inventory.
Now, if you put stuff into the inventory, correct?
But it is still there because I went to the ship when you were logged out, so.
Okay.
There's
I'll
something
probably
in my
just grab
eye.
like my Pisces or something. Oh, by the way, one place to check for
Open.
people that have especially been seeing bad guys in the garage. You know where the two engine corridors are off the left and right of it?
Yeah.
Oftentimes there's some baddies in there.
Yeah, I know. I just killed two guys in there already.
Okay, it's still showing two left.
I know. I don't know where they are though. Check downstairs again, but I feel like I've run circles down there.
Well, when I get over there, I'll do a top to bottom search. It's going to be a good 5 minutes or so. Most of the thing is just, it's like, oh, hey, you want to get to this mission or even get back to this mission, and then, oh, hey, it was glitched from the get-go, you're screwed. And you're just like, well, hey, there goes an hour
At least there's a lot of loot
where
though.
I've lost a lot and I've gained nothing.
Yeah. Or gained little.
Yeah.
But I checked the entire engine room and they're there.
Okay.
I need to check the hangar again, and then I've checked the entire ship twice.
I wonder, because I know the 300 series that's docked in there should be spawning in the hangar, and it's not. It's usually spawning in space. I wonder if there's NPCs spawning in space.
Well, there's two corpses near my ship, but I put those there.
Yeah. Also, too, I think I had the other day, I think I went through an 890 mission, and I want to say there was an enemy in one of the turret areas, like the turret rooms.
Okay. Right, because there's like an elevator to get to the turret.
Yeah, well, there's one turret that's just behind a pair of doors, and there's one where there's an elevator.
Yeah, so I'll check
turret.
those.
It was one of those sets of doors.
Not in here.
I am noticing though when I quantum jump, there's usually a huge lag spike. To the point where my game pretty much freezes for a good like
I've only noticed it around Microtech. But yeah, I'm not seeing them in the hangar.
Okay. I'm coming in now.
I can do. Here, Cam, come to the hangar.
Yeah, I can just land right in there.
Probably could actually, yeah. Here, I have a present for you. You just ran right through him.
No, you passed right under me. Do you have windshield wipers on this thing?
This is your windshield wiper.
Is it? I turned around.
He
there's
just
a
wiped.
corpse
He
in
just
the
wiped your
fucking back
windshield.
of it. I turned around. There's already a corpse just sitting in the back of this thing.
Yeah, that's the
Now
guy you
that's
hit.
funny. Is it?
Yeah, yeah, that was the guy I put in front of your ship as you landed.
Something. I need a weapon.
I have a few on my back. Here, I can drop one.
Because you know exactly what happened is I open up a door and there's already a fucking bag I just sitting there and I get fucking
Here,
blasted.
I just dropped one. Get it?
Hear it somewhere. I don't see it anywhere. Oh, it glitched under. I'm gonna close the ramp real quick. I can't close the ramp. Okay, I can. Hold on.
Just throwing them off into space. Want to take this guy's armor?
I want to get this gun. Can you pick that up? Because I can't. It's glitching through.
Oh, yeah, wow.
Damn it, Mando! I blame Canada.
As you should, because it's not my fault
Uh-huh.
this time. Here, I still have a pistol, so I'm dropping another. I'm actually.
It's fine. I'll just wander through the hallways here.
Where'd you
If you
go?
hear me scream really loud, that means I found the enemy.
Yeah.
I'll just go to the garage and try to find something there.
There's nothing there.
Fuck's sake.
All the guns have despawned. All that's left is the bodies. There's nothing in there. I think the hack was in there. Yep.
They really need to tone it down with these fucking despawns, man. Shit's ridiculous.
I guess you saw what I was doing with the elevator.
No?
I was loading them into the elevator.
Oh, okay. Yeah, their fucking despawn shit is way too,
Fast.
trigger happy.
Alright, I'm at the bar. The spa, actually. My mistake.
Are those
Hey, they
bars
re-added
actually
water into the
working
pool.
now? Are those, are the elevators actually working? Because I know before you'd always glitch them.
Yeah, they used to, but they worked so far. Nothing in the pool, by the way. Underwater,
Okay.
nothing. Aside from corpses. Corpse eye?
Yeah, they really need to add a timer to these hunt down the NPC missions, and after like 10 minutes, it goes and says, hey, here's where the NPCs are.
At one point they did that.
Well, yeah, but
At least for Korea they did.
yeah. But for some fuck all reason, they're like, nah, we're not gonna do that now. Because it's making these missions look quite literally impossible.
I like how it reads the dead bodies as people.
Yeah.
Like for doors, for automatic doors. So it makes getting all these corpses to ship.
Why
can
are you
loot them
bringing all
silly.
the corpses?
I want to loot all their armor.
Hmm.
So that in the event that I die and have nothing, I at least have something. I don't have to spend, 20,000 credits every time I die, just so or every time I respawn, just so I can have armor. No? I want to do this just because. Oh, the elevator is actually there for one, not just a bottomless pit.
I mean, we can make it a bottomless pit.
One of the elevators has a pile of corpses. Nothing in the pool area, right?
I thought I saw something in the
I didn't
back
see.
right corner.
There's a regular, like a civilian corpse. That it.
Maybe, I don't know. Okay. Oh. It was just a reflection. I let the door close again. I was like, what I saw was the reflection of a button panel. Looked like armor pieces. Yeah, this shit with missions never completing because hey, we fucked up the spawning. It's getting pretty old pretty fast.
Mm-hmm. I don't.
Not only do you have triple jeopardy of hey, when
Reputation.
you lose all your
Yeah.
shit and you're dying pretty often to stupid glitches. You aren't even getting the money you could earn before.
And you lose
Hey,
reputation for not completing it.
it's getting ridiculous.
I think because of this, I'm in like negative reputation. Some of these factions.
Yeah, I'm getting to the point of considering 3.15 as a whole unplayable.
You know what? At least Star Citizen has an easy to navigate menu, unlike Halo Infinite. I finally bit the bullet and downloaded it today.
Cool.
I'm not too whatever to admit that FOMO
So
kind of
you
got
actually love
FOMO
that.
got the best of me in that some of the tactics they used. Like, oh, okay, I'll freaking download it and see what's what.
Did it actually start for you? Because I thought before it wasn't even.
It
loading.
did, surprisingly. So it seems they
But
finally fixed that, or I don't know, but I did start. I did play it. It's actually decent. The gameplay, anyways. Everything else is absolute shit. But the game, like when you're actually in the match and playing, it's fun.
okay.
But actually navigating the menu, it's not enlisted bad, but it's still pretty bad.
But yeah, and as you noted earlier too, the fact that you get negative rep for not completing a mission when it's the game's fucking fault you can't complete missions, it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Like there is zero reason to be doing this when 90% of the time when you get in these situations is not because you the player are doing anything wrong, it's because the game is fucking up. And the fact that they
We would have to stay
like,
here
we're
for
gonna
like
put
a
this in
good
anyway.
hour for the AI to finally freaking on in.
Yeah. It's like they're literally either A, the NPCs are in space, which is possible, but in which case we'll never find them. Because among other things too, we have no ability to scan or do anything there, so
We can get in our
it's just
ships
me
and
out
ping,
that you
but
get well, but it's not going to show you a FPS person.
no.
So like just the fact that you get punished for the game's fuck up and punished harshly, pretty damn annoying. Yeah, I've been to the ship top to bottom now, and no
Here, you want your
NPC,
gear?
so yeah. God damn it, Mando. You loot goblin.
Should be your undersuit. The box in front of me.
Let me, I'll store this in the vehicle. Oh shit. Can I breathe if the doors are open?
Here I'll. Oh, okay, you got him.
I was like, here, let me take off my helmet. Wait a minute. This could go very badly.
Fine. Your pants.
Unfortunately, it seems like it does not let me actually equip from box. I have to grab, store, then equip. Which is annoying as fuck.
Also, all your gear is in the cutlass block as well.
Alright.
Not in your inventory. Although you didn't have your med gun on you when you died.
I had one equipped, but
You
doesn't
had,
cost that much, so
No, I'm literally just gonna drop everything that you had on you. That was it. Here, you can also have a gun if you want. But it wasn't on you.
Yeah, too long don't read. This inventory system is a fucking chore.
It's got a good basis, I think. It needs a lot of work in the UI, and the responsiveness, and the like. There's a delay to everything you do, so.
Exactly. What do you mean? I can't even bring my undersuit back out with me, or even the helmet. It's saying that it's over capacity somehow. Whatever. Wait, let me see if I drop it on the ground. Oh, no. Just standard shit
Hell?
anyway. I'm good leaving my Pisces.
Okay, hold on a sec.
Okay, I waited a sec.
Alright. YouTube says we're still streaming to the podcast episode, but StreamYard says we're not.
Mm.
I hate YouTube.
Are we moving?
Yes, why?
I was gonna say, do we want to see if we can see those NPCs at all?
I mean, I remember I threw some into space, so.
Damn you, Mano! No, we'll never know which are the real ones and which are the fakes.
Well, the real ones will probably be moving and shooting.
I mean, well, they have no zero-G abilities.
No.
I tried once because the other day it glitched up too, and I tried just blowing up the ship because I was like, I'm done with this fucking bullshit. And it was like, mission failed. It's like, what do you mean? I killed all the hostiles!
I'm also not reading the.
Hey, wait, look at the ship. Scan it.
Alright.
Right? It should tell us. It should tell us if there's anyone alive. If you hit V.
Yeah,
the
I'm scanning, I'm
actual-
scanning.
Okay.
Scanning again. I'm not getting anything.
Yeah, yep, glitched. Fuck, man. So many goddamn missions are glitched. It's ridiculous.
The dogfighting ones aren't, but it's like, at some point you
they
kind
are
of.
too. I've done a couple of them, and you have like you'll do a bounty hunter mission, and it won't track that you've killed the target.
Yeah, oh yeah, where you kill him and it's like you didn't kill him, but you did.
Yep.
Had it once, but that's not. Holy crap, okay. Trying to slow down, it's like.
Yeah, it's like it came out of their fucking full speed. Honestly, once we land, I'm probably done for the movie.
I think I'm just gonna head to the expo and then that's it.
Because it sucks that it's like it's such a chore to get everything set up, and then when the game glitches and it falls
Oh, we're
through,
being
it's like, oh,
scanned.
that's it. I'm done. I got nothing done today. Less than if you lose any gear. What's tomorrow for the expo?
Tomorrow, Crusader and
Crusader and Tumbrel.
Tumbrel. I think they're gonna hate that we have the corpses. Yep.
Hope we don't get scanned. That's all I'll say.
While I'm here, I'm just going.
You know, it would be nice down the line. I doubt it would happen, but it would be nice. You know how CIG's been kind of slowly giving us some freebies here and there, like for sitcom. They're like, oh hey, here have this flight suit, have this armor, have this weapon. It'd be cool with down the line. You know, maybe way down the line. But if they're like, hey, here's a complimentary Argo MPUV, or you know, here's a complimentary PTV, you know, little golf cart kind of thing.
Oh, this is
Even
so
like
fucking
an
glitchy.
Aurora. Here's a basic bitch Aurora. I doubt they would go that far, but are we landing or?
You want to land us because I'm having inventory glitches.
Sure.
Not the same
How
type
is your
as
inventory
before.
preventing you from landing?
Because we were being scanned before.
We're being scanned right now?
We were. I don't think we are now.
Where if I get a fucking crime stat?
And we're close enough to do. If I'm close enough to do freaking inventory on the.
We are? Honestly, I would just do the inventory shit. I'll just fucking EVA over.
And I'm inside the ship
Not
and I'm
like it's
doing
gonna fuck.
inventory, so. I can just claim the ship.
Can you just claim the ship?
Uh. I'm essentially Fallout stripping these guys. Yeah. A bunch of guys in freaking nothing. definitely a good way to get free gear.
Anywho, I'm gonna jump up now. See ya.
Alright, see ya. I just realized that if I don't remove these bodies before going aboard the station, this will be a very, very interesting and hilarious picture when I next spawn the ship. So I'm gonna try and do that. They're not even gonna bother. It's just funny. Well, we certainly accomplished something.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Wish I can emergency decompress. Wish I could do that in real life.
Landing gear down. Landing gear up.
Fuck. Why did my landing gear go down? Pressed them twice.
Engines.
Oh, actually I pressed them once. Now I'm pressing them twice. Just
Landing complete.
pressed it
Pleasant stay.
once nothing happened, pressed it twice, and then they went down. You know, pressing them twice should make them go down, then go back up. But whatever. Repair while I'm here. Dock while I'm at it. I have a funny idea. Oh, I don't have my multi-tool with me. Oh, I can't use the multi-tool in freaking Armistice Zone? Oh, it's a good thing we... Oh, I should probably move the weapons over too. Alright. This looks so wrong.